Chapter 293. What's the good news? Zhang Mingxing asked first. The two of them had not recovered from the bad news just now, and now there was another good news, which made them feel uncomfortable. That Minister Bai wrote a memorial and asked the officials to send it to the capital. He said that Sanshui County's registrar and county magistrate thought that the transportation in the county might be lacking. The river and canal can be expanded so that boats can travel to and from Benzhou to the capital. This move is beneficial for draining water when there is a flood, storing water when there is a drought, good for the health of the people, and good for increasing taxes. It is a great policy. The county magistrate should be able to protect the people and show the kindness of the imperial court. My lord, this river was built by you. Not only did you widen the river and clear the silt, but you also persuaded the local rich to set up small rest pavilions on both sides for people to rest. You also let the people buy and sell on both sides of the pavilions to increase their family's wealth. My lord, you are a good official who serves the country and the people. You did not spend a single cent of the imperial court's money. If you don't take the position of county magistrate, who else has the ability? Congratulations, my lord. The Yamen runner said according to the contents of the memorial, and then began to congratulate him. Why is the minister speaking up for us all of a sudden? The credit of digging the river is also counted as mine? Zhao Xiang could not believe what he heard. He just felt better, but now he was trembling again. He understood that if he had another credit, the position of county magistrate would be stable. No one could take it away from him. Otherwise, where would he be arranged to be? He was also a registrar, and he was so familiar with Sanshui County. The position of county magistrate could only be him. Brother Ji Feng, calm down. Now you know how powerful the Zhang family is. They pushed Brother Ji Feng to the position with 2 hands. I did not expect that they still have the energy to take care of us when they are so busy. But how can the minister help us? He came here to play. Zhang Mingsheng was now sure that he was the registrar. He asked others to calm down, but when he spoke, his voice was trembling. The Yamen runner explained, the Zhang family said that no one can touch the silt dug out from the river. The minister has written a memorial to retire and return to his hometown. He is going to buy some wasteland here and keep the silt for the old registrar. I see. Zhang Mingsheng and Zhao Xiang understood. So much silt had been used to return the favor, but the silt did not belong to them. It belonged to the Zhang family. It seemed that the Zhang family had paid a price. That's great. Let's submit the 2 booklets together. Zhang Mingxing smiled. Reporting. Good news, I have good news. Just as he finished speaking, another bailiff ran in and said to Zhao Xiang, County Magistrate, I have good news. Again. Zhao Xiang stood up and supported himself with the back of the chair. He looked at the bailiff and waited for him to continue. Your Excellency and the county magistrate felt that there were many commoners in the county who had nothing to do after the spring plowing. As such, they asked the Zhang family to build 3 workshops so that the commoners could earn money during their free time. They also set up 3 workshops to teach the commoners survival skills. Your Excellency, quickly write the memorial. The Yamen runner winked and said. Zhao Xiang knew that there were 3 workshops and 3 schools, but weren't they built by the little prince? Why did he take the credit for this? Did the little prince agree to it? Zhang Mingxing asked directly. Reporting to Your Excellency, the little prince seemed to be building a dock with the Zhang family recently. Unfortunately, the dock isn't here. Otherwise, the river here seems to be smaller. I think it's because of this. The Yamen runner changed the way he addressed Zhang Mingxing and began to explain. If that's the case, what did the Zhang family use to exchange with the little prince again? Could it be that they were still worried after having those 2 hands and wanted to use a 3rd hand to settle this matter and stabilize their own promotion? Zhang Mingsheng said to Zhao Xiang. Zhao Xiang nodded. Sigh. The Zhang family really put in a lot of effort this time. They used 3 hands in a row. Let's see who else dares to take this position. Reporting. Your Excellency, good news, there's good news. Another bailiff ran in from outside. Zhang Mingsheng and Zhao Xiang felt numb at this time. They sat back in their chairs and waited. What was going to happen would happen. What was the Zhang family doing? They came one after another. Did they still think that the position of county magistrate was unstable? The bailiff who came in seemed to be in a hurry. He panted heavily and couldn't speak. Take a rest first. There's no hurry. Brother Anren, what do you think the master of the Zhang family plans to do? Zhao Xiang asked Zhang Mingxing as he gestured for the bailiff to drink water. I don't know. That expert is amazing. He always does things one after another. How can we guess? If we can guess it, won't we also be experts? No wonder the little prince stayed there and didn't go home. He wants to learn something, Zhang Mingsheng said with emotion. He was now full of admiration for the master of the Zhongjia Zhuangzi. After he finished talking with Zhao Xiang, he said to the bailiff who finished drinking water, Tell me, what's the news? Your Excellency thinks that the river in Sanshui County is unstable due to the river being repaired. Therefore, they ordered people to build 40 boats in half a year to patrol the river and occasionally help to transport some overstocked goods. Such a good deed should be passed down by erecting a stone tablet at the Xiaoyuoshui Pier. Your Excellency, congratulations. In the future, all the people who were saved and helped in the river will remember your kindness and pass it down from generation to generation. The bailiff told them the news about the establishment of the fleet. It's the fourth hand. What does the Zhang family want? Logically speaking, those two are enough. Why do they have to push it down? The two of them became excited again. Unlike the previous 3 pieces of news, if this matter was done well, the two of them would be able to show off in the future. Why don't we go and ask in person? At least we have to figure it out. This again and again will always make people think about it. Zhang Mingxing suggested. Okay, it's good to ask. I can't figure it out either. I don't know which part of the chain is this. Zhao Xiang's face was full of yearning. He also wanted to go to Zhongjia Zhuangzi to be apprenticed to the master. Even if he could learn a little, he would be better than him now. This was called a method. It made people unable to guess the meaning even if they saw it. Reporting. Good news, Your Excellency, there's good news. It came again. No need to congratulate us. If there's any news, just say it. We know. One of us is the county magistrate, and the other is the head of the government. We can't run away. Zhang Mingxing didn't want to hear any congratulatory words and let the bailiff say it directly. The bailiff was stunned for a moment. When he saw the other bailiffs in the room who hadn't left, he said with a smile, In order to educate the people, the two of you and the head of the government have specially set up an academy in Tuqiao village. You have also asked Master Bai, who wants to retire to be an official, to preside over everything and raise money for the construction of the academy. This will allow the people in the county who want to study to be educated and also allow the outsiders to learn the way of the sage. The two of them who had been shocked by the news again and again thought that they wouldn't be so excited this time. However, they couldn't control themselves and stood up from the chair again. Their bodies couldn't stop trembling. Building an academy? How much would the status of Sanshui County rise in the future? The Zhang family was able to invite the head of the government to take care of this matter. It was a matter of the scholars. With an academy, it could be said that the common people would be educated. This credit was too big. It was so big that it was frightening. Okay, you can all leave. I will discuss it with the head of the government. Zhang Mingxing didn't dare to continue waiting like this. He asked them to leave. He wanted to have a good discussion with Zhao Xiang. However, Zhongjia Zhuangzi didn't seem to want to give him the chance. There was another reporting. My lord, good news. Congratulations, my lord. In order to show the prosperity of our country, you have specially allowed some merchants to unite. You want to cover the supermarket where everything in the world can be bought and sold. Only in this market, you can buy and sell many things that are not commonly seen in the local area. My lord's public virtue is boundless. The Yamen runner was quick to talk and told them about this matter. Zhang Mingsheng and Zhao Xiang looked at each other. What supermarket? What was it for? Which merchants were involved? What kind of goods were they buying and selling? The two of them didn't know at all. The only thing they knew was that this matter was caused by the Zhang family. What did the Zhang family want to achieve? It was enough. Not to mention a county, even if it was given to a state, these achievements would be enough to get people promoted. Moreover, it was the kind of promotion that could be given to several people at once. Brother Ji Fong, why do I feel like I'm having some misgivings in my heart? That expert always sends people to tell us his plans. What should we do this time? No, I'm going to go to Zhongjia Zhuangzi to ask now. It's too uncomfortable to keep it in my heart like this. Zhang Mingxing felt that there was no part of his body that wasn't numb. Even his tongue couldn't work. His eyes were in a trance. Zhao Xiang wasn't much better than him. He nodded and said, "I'll go with you. But I feel that this matter isn't over yet. There should be more. Quick, let's go out and have a look." "No need. I heard the sound of horse hooves," Zhang Mingxing said. Sure enough, there was another shout from the other side. "Reporting. My lord, good news, really good news." The person ran and shouted. As soon as he came in, Zhang Mingsheng and Zhao Xiang said together, "Congratulations, my lord." "My lord, congratulations." "My lord, thank the people of the county." "What's next?" How did you know that I was going to say this?" "Could it be that the two of you can predict?" The Yamen runner was confused. He hadn't said anything yet. How did they know? When the surrounding Yamen runners heard the words of the two who were about to be promoted, they all laughed at the same time. The Yamen runner who came to report the news didn't know what to do. He touched his face and scratched his head. He felt that there was something wrong with him that made others laugh. My lord, you too already know?" the Yamen runner asked tentatively in a low voice. "We don't know shit. Tell me, what good thing did Registrar Zhao and I do this time?" Zhang Mingxing asked. He felt that the things he encountered today were more than all the things he had encountered in the past. It was also puzzling. Chapter 294. The runner heard Zhang Mingxing's words and said, "The Zhang family said that you must have doubts in your heart. You don't know why the Zhang family has pushed you so many times, so you are anxious to ask. The Zhang family said that you don't need to wait. You will know what they mean when you hear the last piece of news. The Zhang family said that some of the seeds can be brought to the Zhang family first. The Zhang family will be responsible for planting the seedlings. When the time comes, the seedlings will be distributed to various parts of the county. Based on the Zhang family's farmstead's direct planting of the seedlings last year, it should be able to increase the yield by 10%. Sirs, this humble one has finished speaking." Hiss. When Zhang Mingsheng and Zhao Xiang heard the last piece of news, they couldn't help but gasp. Increase the output by 10%? As long as they got the seeds to the Zhang family and planted the seedlings according to their method. 10% of the output. How much was the whole county? But why did they say that they knew what the Zhang family wanted to do when they heard the news? What was so different about this news? Counting from the head count, the Zhang family had already pushed them 7 times. Including the current one, it was exactly 8 times. Why? What did 8 times have to do with the purpose? The two fell into deep thought. Their thoughts were basically the same. The first thing was to push them to the position. This was already enough. If the two of them didn't insist on staying in Sanshui County, they could directly push them to the capital and become officials of the capital. When they first entered, it seemed that they could only be 7th-rank officials, unless the emperor summoned them alone and they could mention it. Of course, they couldn't go. There were still many things to do here. When they heard the last piece of news, they understood why they pushed them so many times. They even knew that the two of them would go to Zhongjia Zhuangzi. Sure enough, they didn't let anything go wrong. It seemed that they knew their every move. While the two of them were thinking about it, the runners were also thinking about it. This time, they were completely relieved. No one could push the two of them down. If they occupied that position, Sanshui County would be better in the future. They wanted to say something to their colleagues, but they saw that the two of them were silent, so they also waited. I know. It's too scary. The Zhang family, they want to. Brother and Ran, can you hurry up and say what you want? What does the Zhang family want? Before Zhao Xiang could figure it out, he heard Zhang Mingxing's exclamation and urged him on. Zhang Mingxing opened his eyes to the maximum and looked in front of him. His mouth was open, and there was an expression on his face that could not be described as either surprised or frightened. Zhao Xiang reached out and pushed him. Brother and Ran, are you trying to suffocate me to death? Tell me quickly. Brother Ji Fang, you see, there are business matters, agriculture matters, industry matters, official matters, as well as matters of merit and virtue. If you count them all, we have officials, agriculture, industry, and education. Moreover, none of them are simple. You see, Brother Ji Fang, we have business matters, agriculture matters, industry matters, and education matters, and none of them are simple. What do you think Sanshui County was like? What do you think Sanshui County is like now? Also, this river has become an important road. In the future, there will be a lot of people coming and going, right? Zhang Mingxing explained to Zhao Xiang one by one and finally summed it up. Zhao Xiang nodded. He also knew that these matters included various aspects, but it had nothing to do with Zhongjia Zhuangzi's plan. He looked at Zhang Mingsheng in confusion and said, I understand. In the future, Sanshui County will not be comparable to the original one. Although we are a middle county, we are better than some upper counties. Especially when many people come from other places to settle down in our Sanshui County, as long as the number of people is a little more. Then we can report to the higher-ups and let this place become the Zhang family. It turns out that not only do they want to promote us, but they also want to promote the whole county from a middle county to an upper county. They want to promote 8 hands, including officials, agriculture, industry, and education. So it turns out that they want to promote the county? What a big plan. When the time comes, I won't be a lower 7th grade official. I will be upper 7th grade official, and you will be lower 7th grade official. Maybe with more people, I will be lower 6th grade official, and you will be upper 7th grade official. It's crazy. Either we are crazy, or the Zhang family is crazy. Using the power of Zhuangzi to promote the county to an upper county? 8 hands in a row. This is the first time I've heard of this in my life. It's also the first time I've seen it. Which Zhuangzi has this kind of plan? Which Zhuangzi has this kind of ability? Zhongjia Zhuangzi can and dare to. He is the best Zhuangzi in the world. When he said these words, Zhao Xiang's hands were already cramping. He wanted to clench his fists, but he couldn't. He wanted to open his hands, but he couldn't. His eyes were also wide open. Zhang Mingxing's hands trembled as he picked up the teacup on the table. He wanted to drink a mouthful of water, but the edge of the teacup hit his teeth. No matter what, he couldn't drink it. He just held it and said, honestly, using the power of a Zhuangzi to promote a county, this is unheard of. If they were given a county, wouldn't they dare to promote a province? If they were given a province, would they promote a country? Someone, come here and feed me some water. After saying so much, Zhang Mingxing still couldn't drink any water. He shouted at the bailiffs. No bailiff came over. They were also trembling. It was too scary. Zhongjia Zhuangzi actually had this kind of plan. If they didn't hear it clearly and saw it with their own eyes, they would definitely slap the person who told them this. It was just like a dream. Sir, I can't go over. Sir, are you telling the truth? Our Sanshui County is going to become an upper county? A bailiff wanted to go over and feed the deputy district magistrate, but he found that he couldn't walk over. His legs were cramping. He used his hand to support himself on the wall to prevent himself from collapsing. He had a reason to do so. If it was an upper county, the bailiffs would be different from the middle county. Their monthly salary would be higher, and their equipment would be different from the previous ones. Previously, they were allowed to use knives, but in fact, it was already a violation. They used hunting bows. If it was an upper county, they could directly equip themselves with bows. They were not allowed to use them during normal times, but they could use them during critical times. What's up to them? Even if the county had to pay for it, the Zhang family would take care of it. For example, the most powerful counties, Chong An and Wanyan, could even equip themselves with crossbows. Although they were not as good as military crossbows were still crossbows. It was already good enough for the bailiffs in the lower county to have a water and fire rod. In the future, it would be more awe-inspiring when they go out. They wouldn't have to be afraid when they encounter something. They wouldn't have to carry knives around in the middle county. They wouldn't have to worry about being questioned when they go out. If they were in the upper county, they could ride a good horse and walk around with knives. What could they do? Zhang Mingxing could understand the feelings of the bailiffs. He sighed and stopped drinking. Trembling, he put the teacup back down. He sat there and panted heavily, waiting for the trembling to subside. He would be fine once the trembling subsided. His trembling body did not affect his speech much, but his voice was a little shaky. Since he couldn't move, he could only chat. "Brother Ji Feng, how is it? Are you convinced? In the future, Sanshui County will be more stable. The bailiffs will be able to use good bows. When the time comes, I don't know if the higher-ups will give them to us. After all, our bailiffs are a little overstaffed. It's good enough that they don't investigate. It seems that we still have to wait for Zhongjia Zhuangzi to do it. The Zhang family's continuous actions will cost a lot of money," Zhang Mingsheng said to Zhao Xiang. He was also happy. His position was promoted, and his rank was also promoted. As long as Zhongjia Zhuangzi could do it, it would be easy for him to become an upper county. Every year, he would have to pay taxes and hand in food. Who would dare to be unconvinced? Yes, there are so many things. The higher-ups will not give them. If they give them out, will they rebel? But we didn't do anything wrong. When we recruited bailiffs, we did it for this step, right? There are 40 boats patrolling in the water. Each boat has 10 people, which means there are 400 people. There are not enough people patrolling in the county. 5 people is still 200 people. When we forced Jia Shan to recruit bailiffs, we only knew that the Zhang family would not leave so many people idle. But we never expected that the Zhang family had considered this point at that time. Their plan was too big and too far, but it was so thorough. Not only did they spend the last bit of money in the Yaman's account to restrain Jia Shan, but they also made arrangements for today's events. What an expert! I finally understand what it means to be intertwined. The Zhang family never makes mistakes for no reason. They even had such considerations when roping in the little duke to build Shuiyun Club. Money, it was all about money, and also reputation. Since the invention of the curved plow last year, he had been pushing it all the way. Little by little, he had finally pushed Zhongxian to Shangxian and controlled the entire Sanshui County in his hands. Yes, he had even pushed Zhang Zhong from a small family to the capital. I think Zhang Zhong must be one of the top 3. I understand now. Those who are useful to them, they will push them away. Those who are not obedient, they will push them away. They will push you until your heart is blooming with joy. They will press you until you are heartbroken. Fortunately, we are obedient. Otherwise, you will be beaten to death by your mother. I know. Zhang Mingxing didn't wait for Zhao Xiang to finish his sentence. You won't be able to get better, Zhao Xiang said unconvinced. You are the most rigid one. As a chief clerk, you can't get along well with others. You are the most dangerous one. Fortunately, you spoke up for the Zhang family. I am not. If the Zhang family treats me better, I am willing to listen to them. What kind of position is a deputy county magistrate? He doesn't have that ability. Zhang Mingxing mentioned what happened in the past. At that time, when they met the higher-ups, Zhao Xiang didn't speak up for the Zhang family. Instead, he spoke ill of them. What would happen to Zhao Xiang now? It was not easy for a rigid person to lie for them. It was really lucky. Zhao Xiang also thought of what happened at that time. He said, "What do you know? I am afraid that Zhongjia Zhuangzi will be angry and kill the cucumber sprout. My mother wants to eat it. I am doing this for my mother." I am also obedient. I listen to the Zhang family. They are very good to me. When my little sister is sick, they send ginseng to my little sister for her to use. They also give her a lot of delicious food. If anyone dares not to listen to the Zhang family, I will fall out with that person. The Yamen runner who was holding the wall also said. Chapter 295. Spring is full, the plum blossoms fall, the apricot blossoms bloom, the moon shines on people, love is always there. Half a month has passed since Zhang Mingxing and Zhao Xiang reported the 8 matters. The river is completely connected. Some people are still there to clear the silt, and some people are left to build the embankment. Most of the craftsmen who can be used are hired by Li Sun to build the restaurant. Bai Go is still alive. He bought a piece of wasteland north of Zhuangzi. The higher-ups have agreed to his resignation, and they are arguing for a new minister. Most of the silt had been dragged to his wasteland. Once the spring plowing was done, he would quickly get someone to dig it up. He had yet to find a farmer. The new home that Zhang Xiaobao had built for him occupied a medium-sized field. No one pursued this matter, and no one reported it. The 4 Zhuangzi family's spring plowing speed was faster than other Zhuangzi. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Zhuangzi were naturally the fastest. Li Sun complained to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan more than once that they knew the new plow was better, but they still said that they wanted to try it first. As a result, their speed was faster than the new plow. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan tried to avoid this topic. They talked about the workshop, the docks, and the things in the workshop. The Zhang family prepared a large number of tents for the farmers to live in. While the people digging the river were idle, they built houses for the farmers. According to the original agreement, the houses were 2-story buildings. In this way, the farmers could help to build the academy after the spring plowing, and then build the 2 Zhuangzi to the appearance on Wang Wan's blueprint. It seems that those people can't be found for a while. I raised 100,000 strings of coins to build the docks. Xiao Bao, you have to do it well. Don't lie to me anymore. Li Sun couldn't sleep in the middle of the night, thinking about the restaurant between the clouds and the water. He got up and walked around, and then found Zhang Xiaobao's place. Zhang Xiaobao and Zhao Xiang were studying. When they saw Li Sun coming, they had to stop and walk outside together. Don't worry, we won't cheat our own business. You can use the money to help us first. My family is going to build a supermarket with the money from Little Luo Shui. After the imperial examination, Sanshui County must become Shang County. Zhang Xiaobao agreed, and at the same time, he made a request. Otherwise, it would take a few months. With Li Sun's help, it would be much faster. His father also. Li Sun did not think that this matter was difficult to handle. Definitely, Xiaobao, I don't understand why your family is in such a hurry to move Sanshui County to Shang County. I have to do all these things at the same time. Fortunately, there are some people who are willing to invest. Tell me, what is your family's plan? Li Sun really wanted to know. The matter of the Zhang family's manor pushing 8 hands in a row to turn Zhong Xian into Shang Xian allowed him to see the ability of the person behind the scenes. Even his father wrote a letter of praise and said that the Zhang family's manor was the #1 manor in the world. He asked him to find a way to get closer to Zhongjia Zhuangzi. He said that many people knew about this matter. Maybe people around Zhongjia Zhuangzi would move over. The reason was the same as his. Therefore, Li Sun didn't think that the Zhang family emphasized several times that they would settle this matter after the imperial examination. There must be a deeper meaning. Those who understood the situation and were a little bit smarter didn't dare to think that what the Zhang family did was too simple. Buddha said not to say. Zhang Xiaobao did have a plan, but he couldn't tell others. Even Wang Wan didn't know what Zhang Xiaobao was thinking. Hearing Li Sun's question, Zhang Xiaobao looked up at the moon and replied. Li Sun curled his lips and said, "What Buddha said? Now they are dismantling the Miao and returning to the secular world. Buddha is so powerful. How can it be dismantled? The moon is full and the moon is waxing and waning. I don't know if there is a Buddha, but Buddhism is a good philosophy. You won't understand even if I tell you. Don't be depressed because of a failure, and don't be arrogant because of a moment of happiness." Zhang Xiaobao finally decided to teach Li Sun well. He couldn't just ask for help without paying. Li Sun's family didn't teach him these things. They just wanted him to be a carefree marquis and a carefree prince in the future. If he knew too much, his heart would be too big, and it would easily attract trouble. He didn't have much contact with it. Now that he heard Zhang Xiaobao's words, he thought that it was taught by an expert. He turned to Wang Wan and asked, "Why do I feel a little uncomfortable when Xiaobao said this? Is it like this? If it is, then it is. If it isn't, then it isn't. Who can clearly say what is right and what is wrong? Everything has its own way, but it is like a dream, an illusion, a bubble. Like fog, like lightning. You should observe it like this." Wang Wan also understood Zhang Xiaobao's meaning and also taught him. Li Sun had never heard of this before. The great Tang didn't have it yet. After hearing it, he felt even more confused. "Can you say it in another way?" "Good. The Tao can be said, but it is not the Tao. The name can be named, but it is not the name. The nameless world." "I know. You don't need to say any more. I'll recite the rest." Xiao Bao's meaning is that one shouldn't be happy when encountering good things, but shouldn't be sad when encountering bad things, right? Li Sun didn't let Wang Wan continue. This kind of thing was just like the rest of the words, mysterious and wonderful. Wang Wan shook her head. Why can't one be happy when encountering good things? Humans have 7 emotions and 6 desires in life. They must know how to enjoy life. When they should cry, they should cry. When they should laugh, they should laugh. When they should laugh, they should cry. If they don't have anything, are they still human? Xiao Bao, what do you say? Li Sun heard that the two people had different opinions, so he asked Zhang Xiaobao. A capable person must always remember that happiness is followed by sorrow. He must also have the willpower to remain calm even if Mount Tai collapses in front of him. Fortune is where misfortune lies, and misfortune is where fortune lies, Zhang Xiaobao replied. Cuckoo, what do you say? Li Sun asked again. When the false becomes the truth becomes false. Who knows what will happen in the future? We can only enjoy the present to the fullest. Wang Wan said to Li Sun. Xiao Bao, it's your turn. Li Sun looked at Zhang Xiaobao. If one doesn't think about the future, there will be immediate worries. Cuckoo. If you always think about the future, you will neglect the present. Why don't you? Xiao Bao. Li Sun followed the two of them out for a stroll in the middle of the night. Hearing the two of them say completely opposite words, she didn't know how to choose. It seemed that what they said was right, but why were they opposing each other? Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan deliberately did this. In fact, real life was very simple. The daily necessities contained the philosophy of heaven and earth. The two of them wanted Li Sun to find what he should have in this contradiction, and not listen to others. Li Sun didn't know the two's good intentions. He listened and felt that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan seemed to be full of talent. How could they teach this? It seemed that he had to work hard to learn. The three of them walked and walked until they reached the place where the houses were built. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan asked the workers to build the houses in a more unique way. They didn't want them to be so neat, and they had to be well arranged. In the future, there would be corridors and small canals here. An almond tree that had already bloomed swayed gently in the evening wind, and the faint fragrance of flowers could be smelled. The villagers lived in tents, and from time to time, there would be people walking by. Not only did the footsteps not wake the people in the tents, but they also made them sleep more soundly. Li Sun and Zhang Xiaobao stood under the tree and looked at the people walking by. They said, "Are these people from your family's inner courtyard? Are they keeping vigil?" Yes, keeping vigil. We can't let the villagers keep vigil by themselves. We still have things to do tomorrow. Zhang Xiaobao knew what Li Sun wanted to say. Wasn't it just that the main family did this differently from the other Zhuangzi? In his mind, there was only the reasonable use of manpower, and he didn't care about whether someone's identity should be doing what they should do. Yes, that's right. If the villagers can sleep well, I'll do the same later. Xiaobao, I still don't understand. When your father changes places, your family will naturally move as well. Although the Zhuangzi here will still belong to your family, what does Sanshui County have to do with your family? Li Sun often asked when he couldn't solve the doubts in his heart. This was the 5th time he asked. We'll know when the time comes. Zhang Xiaobao still had the same expression. He wouldn't say, he definitely wouldn't say. Well, I'll wait. Xiaobao, I've written the letter. When the time comes, your father will definitely be in the top 3. As for whether or not he will be in the top 3, I'm not sure. If he isn't, don't blame me. Li Sun suddenly remembered Zhang Zhong's matter. There was only half a month left before the examination. He was also not sure if he was in the top 3. Zhang Xiaobao was full of confidence. He said, "It doesn't matter. As long as you write the letter, there won't be too much of a difference. There are other people working hard to help. Let's go over there and take a look. The child is crying at night. If it doesn't work, we'll find a doctor." While Zhang Xiaobao was talking, he heard the sound of a baby crying from one of the tents. It was very loud and penetrating. There was no need to worry about the baby crying. Zhang Xiaobao knew some ways to deal with it. In the past, he had a younger brother and sister like this. He led Wang Wan and Li Sun to the tents. Chapter 296. Zhang Zhong really wanted to write a poem about the beautiful spring scenery, but when he looked at the peach blossoms reflected by the lights in the water, he felt a little sour in his nose. He rubbed his eyes with his hands and muttered, "A cup of wine in a river, the bright moon in the sky is far away from home. Out of the door, the plum blossoms compete in the spring, the branches shine in the night and the peach blossoms are beautiful. Across the bridge, the father returns to Yen. Strategizing between the clouds and the water. Bribing the officials, not sparing any expense. After the provincial capital, there is Chong-en." After Zhang Zhong finished reciting this impromptu poem, he raised his sleeve and rubbed the corner of his eyes. Without saying a word, he poured himself a cup of wine and slowly drank there. The other scholars who came with him did not know why Zhang Zhong wrote such a sad poem about such a beautiful scenery. Only County Magistrate Cheng could understand Zhang Zhong's thoughts. Zhang Xiaobao had arranged everything. He had money and people. From the moment Zhang Zhong left home, he did not suffer any grievances. These days, he arranged countless places. Except for the imperial palace, there was no place that he could not enter. For example, this crooked river pond. Was it a place that ordinary people could enter? For example, the hibiscus garden. Was it his own home? However, Zhang Zhong could enter. Moreover, he brought some officials or students who were also going to take the exam. How much effort did he put in? In addition to the care of the minister and the little prince, just the dried wood ears and white fungus were sent over in large bags. All kinds of fresh vegetables and soil were shipped over at the fastest speed. Countless money was thrown in and countless things were given out. For this matter, the 2 best restaurants gave many officials free cards. As long as they ate there, they would not have to spend money. Not to mention other things, just the money that flowed out from his hands was more than 26,000 strings of coins. Every small matter would give a big gift. As long as it was a 6th-ranked official or above, he would not miss out on any. That was only one aspect of it. There were also those shops. In total, there were close to 30 of them. No matter what they sold, he didn't remember much. However, he remembered clearly the mansions of some of the officials. As long as he saw people from those mansions come out to buy things, they would either give them money or not. Even the servants had to give him some benefits. That was how Zhang Zhong was able to get so much information, allowing him to live like a fish in water in Chang'an. Behind all this, there was Zhang Xiaobao. Even if there were people guiding him when he was doing it, he was still a child after all. He had to be busy, and it was not easy to be a messenger. Other children might not be able to remember these things, but Zhang Xiaobao had to memorize them first before making arrangements. He had never heard of that expert handling anything personally. Zhang Zhong thought more than County Magistrate Cheng. County Magistrate Cheng only thought that Zhang Xiaobao was a little tired. However, Zhang Zhong's father knew that his good son not only had to take care of money, but also think of ways to exchange benefits with others. Furthermore, he had to take care of the family. Xiao Bao had always been reluctant to let Xiao overwork herself. The letters that were written never mentioned any difficulties at home. However, the more it was like this, the more it showed that there was a lot of trouble at home. Those who came from Huayuan County to take the exam would also write letters to home. He should go and ask. Otherwise, he would not know what difficulties his family was facing. Good poem. Brother Yongqing can come up with such a good poem even on the spot. You are indeed a talent that can be spread around the surrounding prefectures. I think Brother Yongqing will definitely win the exam this time. A person next to him first applauded, and the others followed suit. Only Zhang Zhong knew that what he wrote was far from the mark. However, that was what reputation was all about. Listening to the applause of others, Zhang Zhong came to a person with a cup of wine and said, "Brother Chiyun, have you received any letters from your family?" "What did they say?" "I haven't received any letters from my family yet." This person was called Guan Feng, Guan Chiyun. He was from Huayuan County. His family was quite rich. He received a letter yesterday. Zhang Zhong knew about this, so he came to ask. Many people did not know about Zhang Zhong's identity. They only knew that he was talented and lived in Sanshui County. When Guan Feng heard Zhang Zhong's question, he immediately thought of his family's situation. He said to Zhang Zhong, "Brother Yongqing, you are too polite. In fact, there is nothing serious in my family." However, it is not entirely true that there is nothing serious. There is a Zhangjia Zhuangzi in Sanshui County. Brother Yongqing is also surnamed Zhang. I don't know if you are related to the Zhang family. Let's not talk about this first. There are two powerful Zhuangzi in the county. They are the Han family and the Yuan family. However, they offended a marquis and were arrested. Their family sold the Zhuangzi. Guess who they sold the Zhuangzi to? They sold the Zhuangzi to Zhangjia Zhuangzi. Zhangjia Zhuangzi is really rich. He took out 50,000 string of coins at once. The Zhang family is even more powerful than before. However, there are still people who are not afraid of them. The Chen family, which used to be next to the Yuan family, is the head of the family who is in the cloth business. When the Zhang family took over Zhuangzi, it was just in time for the spring plowing when the Chen family cut off the water supply. The river flows from the Chen family. Not only did they cut off the water supply, but they also cut off the road leading to the river and planted thorns. I heard that many people have been taken advantage of by the Zhang family, but the Chen family still dared to do this. They are really bold. What? Cut off the water supply? Then how can the spring plowing in Zhuangzi continue? Zhang Zhong's heart skipped a beat when he heard this. He immediately thought of the consequences of this matter. Without water, they could not plow the land. What would happen to Xiao Bao and Xiao They must be very worried. Where would they get water? Guan Feng deliberately paused for a moment. He picked up his bowl and took a sip of wine. Then, he picked up a piece of cucumber and garlic and looked at the eager eyes of the people around him before he said, "I heard that the Zhang family's housekeeper went to look for them twice in a row. In the end, the Chen family made things difficult for him both times. They said that it was useless. The Chen family even mocked the Zhang family, saying that they did not dare to have anything to do with them. Guess what happened after that?" "What happened?" A few people who liked to hear about this kind of thing asked in unison. Zhang Zhong did not ask. He was already clenching his fists. He was thinking that after he passed the exam, he would definitely let the Chen family know how powerful they were. He would not let them off so easily for bullying Xiao Er and Xiao Bao while the head of the family was not at home. After that, those who wanted to watch the show once again witnessed the power of the Zhang family. The Chen family cut off the water supply in their area, and the Zhang family changed the most critical part of the river. The next morning after the Chen family finished planting the thorns, the Zhang family set up everything in a single night. The Chen family was dumbfounded this time, and they went to beg the Zhang family's housekeeper again. What karma? Oh, you might not know what happened to the river over there. Let me tell you that river. Guan Feng spoke excitedly as if he was a member of the Zhang family. He also introduced the terrain of the area to those who did not know the situation. Zhang Zhong did not need to listen to this introduction. How could he not know where his family was? He was angry and worried just now, but now he smiled. He knew that this must be the work of his son, Xiao Bao. Other than Xiao Bao, there was no other person who could do things this way. Zhang Zhong could not help but laugh when he thought of the Chen family's reaction when there was no water. County Magistrate Chang came over and said to Zhang Zhong, "Brother Yongqing, don't worry about your family. Do you think your family is afraid of this kind of thing? It's just Zhuangzi from the Chen family. It's too easy to deal with them." Yes, County Magistrate Cheng is right. Zhuangzi is quite safe. Did County Magistrate Cheng receive a letter from Sanshui County? I received one the day before yesterday. It didn't say anything except that the flowers had bloomed and the farmers were working fast. Zhang Zhong did not expect to receive a letter from his family that he needed to think about. If he wanted to know, he could only ask someone else. County Magistrate Chang hesitated for a moment and said, "Well, to be honest, I did receive a letter. If Brother Yongqing wants to know, I will tell you. But you must not miss the important matter. Otherwise, it will be difficult for me." "Tell me. Let's see what it is." Zhang Zhong was not so worried now. He just felt sorry for his son. The Zhang family's business was very big. His son and daughter-in-law had to manage people, settle accounts, and study at the same time. There were also one or two troublemakers. They were busy from morning to night. They were still children. When County Magistrate Cheng was about to speak, he suddenly trembled. He took a deep breath and said to Zhang Zhong, "I can tell you, but you can't get too excited. This time, your family is determined to arrange people for the County Magistrate of Sanshui County. They gave the new plow, the expansion of the river, the construction of the workshop, all these benefits to Zhang Mingsheng and Zhao Xiang there." County Magistrate Cheng said those things one by one. As he spoke, he drank and was afraid that he could not control his trembling. Zhang Zhong was also stunned. He did not expect that Xiao Bao had done so many things after leaving home for such a long time. However, he did not understand and asked, "What do they want to do?" Yes, Zhang Mingsheng and Zhao Xiang also thought of this. What does the Zhang family want to do? The result is, your family not only wants to promote them, but also wants to change Sanshui County from Zhongxian to Shang County. This big thing has been reported. I think it will not take long before Sanshui County becomes a Shang County. As long as County Magistrate Cheng thought of this, he could not control himself. He held the chopsticks tightly in his hand. Zhang Zhong was also excited. He did not expect his son to be so capable. He could not tell what he was feeling. Zhangjia Zhuangzi was famous now. In this big world, which Zhuangzi could promote a county? His Zhangjia Zhuangzi could. His precious son had this ability. Perhaps he was used to his son's power, so Zhang Zhong did not tremble. He just stood there and laughed. He thought about how his manner would be in a county in the future. He did not know that he could no longer return to Sanshui County to be an official. Chapter 297. Zhang Xiaobao naturally didn't know that his father was also thinking about him. He, Wang Wan, and Li Sun went to the tent where the child was crying and said, "Can we take a look?" The sudden voice made the child stop crying. After a few breaths, the crying sounded again, louder than before. The farmer inside didn't know who was talking outside, but he knew that there were people patrolling outside, so it couldn't be bad people. He opened the tent and looked up, then immediately greeted, "So it's the young master and young lady. You came so late, come in and rest." After all, Zhang Xiaobao's identity was different, so the farmers were very respectful when they saw him. The three of them entered the tent one after another. Zhang Xiaobao sniffed and found that there was no unpleasant smell. There was a brazier lit with smokeless charcoal, so it wasn't cold either. The child was placed on a thick cushion. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan both remembered that the child was only 9 months old, and he was crying with his mouth open. The man at home had a helpless expression. "Come, Xiaobao baby, let me hold you. Tell me, why are you crying?" Wang Wan went over first and stretched out 2 hands, preparing to put one hand on the child's back and the other hand on the child's leg. Zhang Xiaobao quickly pulled Wang Wan away. "You can't hold a child like this. The child's waist is soft, and this will make him cry even more. Watch me." As he spoke, Zhang Xiaobao half knelt on the ground. His right hand passed under the child's arm and placed under the child's armpit. His left hand arched and supported the child's buttocks. He placed the child on his lap and said to Li Sun, "Go outside and get a lantern." Li Sun didn't know what Zhang Xiaobao was going to do, so he turned and went out. He called a patrolling person and asked for a lantern, then returned to the tent. "Hold it above the child's head. Cuckoo, come over and sit with me. Tilt your body slightly outward. We'll block his back together and use our bodies to block the places he can see from the corner of his eyes." Zhang Xiaobao said to Li Sun, then arranged for Cuckoo. Wang Wan curiously followed Zhang Xiaobao's instructions. "You two sit next to me and Cuckoo, not on both sides, but in front. Make space for one person on both sides of the child. You two block there, but don't worry about the front of the child's eyes." Zhang Xiaobao continued to instruct the couple. The two of them sat in the wrong place at first, but they quickly corrected themselves. If it were anyone else doing this, they would have been angry. But when the young master of the main family carried their son, they felt happy instead. After the arrangements were made, the crying child suddenly stopped crying. Her mouth was slightly open, and she allowed her saliva to flow out. Blinking her big eyes, she looked in front of her, then turned her head to look around. She giggled and placed her 2 small hands on one of Zhang Xiaobao's arms and the other on his chest. "Xiaobao, why did he stop crying? I thought he was crying because he peed or pooped, or because he was hungry. What's wrong with you?" Wang Wan felt that this was too strange, so she asked Zhang Xiaobao. Zhang Xiaobao put his head next to the child's head, gently nudged it, and kissed the child. The child laughed even louder and tilted his head to nudge Zhang Xiaobao. Zhang Xiaobao moved closer and nudged him. The child laughed and tilted his head to Wang Wan again. This time, Zhang Xiaobao explained, "In fact, it's very simple. Just like in our Zhuangzi, there are people on night watch and patrol. Everyone knows that there are people around to protect them, so they can sleep soundly. It's the same principle to arrange people to patrol here. Adults know that they will think of ways to hint to themselves, but children don't. As long as they find that their living environment has changed and the temperature has changed, they will feel uncomfortable, or more accurately, fear. Especially when there are no more people around them and no bright lights, they will cry to seek what they want. The position we are in is just enough to block the child's left, right, and back. He knows that there are people around, but he doesn't need to be in front. If we narrow his field of vision, he will feel that he can deal with a threat from the front. This is an instinct. If there are only one person in the house, then we have to put a thick cushion in the corner and let the child's back lean against the cushion. Then we have to pull up 2 pieces of cloth or curtains that can block the child's view. The child can see the front and lean against the back. With the light on, he won't cry unless he is hungry or needs to pee." After Zhang Xiaobao finished mouthing these words to Wang Wan, he kissed the child, and the child also laughed. Wang Wan had never heard of such a thing. After thinking for a while, she said, "Then why do children stop crying when they are breastfed?" The reason why children stop crying is not because they are hungry and can drink milk, but because of the mother's body temperature and the mother's embrace. Many children don't drink milk at that time. They just want a kind of warmth and a feeling of being protected. If the child is not too afraid of emptiness, as long as he is in the arms and kisses, he will feel that he is not lonely, and the child will stop crying. But sometimes just hugging is not enough. We have to create a big atmosphere, just like now. Li Sun is standing there. We may not be able to see it, but the child can feel it. It is very magical. When people grow up, they will hide this instinct or deliberately change it. Zhang Xiaobao was very experienced in this aspect. After he became famous, he specially studied it, just to make the children in the orphanage better. Wang Wan heard Zhang Xiaobao say so mysteriously. She shivered and said, "That is to say, the adults are not like this? But why do the adults feel empty?" That shows that the sixth sense is inherited from the genes. The oldest primitive people will not deliberately change this feeling, so they have a unique perception of danger. We have to cultivate this feeling again after we grow up. Isn't it a bit sad? Why are the children willing to play in the passage we make with straw? Why do adults like to decorate their own homes? This is because they can't eliminate the information from the genes. They want to protect themselves and hide themselves. Think about it carefully. We always hope that there is a high wall behind us in an empty place. If you still don't understand, look at animals. For example, when a dog is raised in a house, as long as the temperature drops and there are fewer people in the house, it will run to the corner of the wall and stay there, so that the surrounding scene can be seen in its own vision. When Zhang Xiaobao was talking, he had been using his left hand to cover the baby's navel. He mouthed a few words to Wang Wan. The baby closed his eyes and fell asleep, one hand on Zhang Xiaobao's left hand, the other hand clenched into a small fist. Wang Wan looked at the baby, and then looked at Zhang Xiaobao. She felt very strange. It was so simple, but the baby stopped crying. It turned out that loneliness and not being able to control were the most difficult things to bear. The parents of the two children saw that the children were asleep, so they were relieved. When they heard the children cry but couldn't do anything, they were worried. Little young master is amazing. The master is the master, and we farmers can't compare to him. The child's father looked at his son who was sleeping soundly and praised him. Zhang Xiaobao carefully handed the child to the child's mother and said, "Sleep with the child tonight." Zhang Xiaobao was a little tired. When he held the child just now, his whole body was relaxed. That way, the child would be comfortable. He was still young. When he held the child, he started from the age of 5. Under the grateful eyes of the couple, the 3 people walked out of the tent. Li Sun was still holding the lantern in his hand. He shook it and said to Zhang Xiaobao, "You are amazing. The child stopped crying when he was in your hands. What kind of ability is this? I will learn in the future. This is everyone's credit. When you have a child and cry, come to me. I will teach you." Zhang Xiaobao felt that he could come up with a teaching material on baby care. Otherwise, if the villagers saw that he and Wang Wan were easy to follow, how could they learn? He and Wang Wan could feel what was happening to their bodies. They could adjust and exercise reasonably. Other children couldn't. What did they know? The reason for the high mortality rate of children here was that they didn't take good care of themselves. There was no systematic discipline. Even if the children didn't know how to speak, their every move was actually to express their thoughts. Wang Wan walked next to them and thought about what had just happened. She said to Zhang Xiaobao, "Do you have something to do? Otherwise, why did you tell me so much? I don't understand." "It's nothing. It's just nonsense. Don't take it to heart," Zhang Xiaobao replied very naturally. "It's nothing? People like you have to be watched carefully. If others say it's nothing, I will believe them. You, hurry up and tell me, what are you going to do?" Wang Wan certainly didn't believe Zhang Xiaobao's deliberately relaxed appearance. "You will know in the future. It's the same as turning Sanshui County into Shang County. It's directly related to the development of civilization." Zhang Xiaobao only revealed this sentence. Wang Wan lowered her head and began to ponder. No matter how hard she thought, she couldn't think of a reason. Li Sun stood at the side and did not say a word. She recalled what she had just seen. That child could not even be coaxed by her own parents. Zhang Xiaobao had arranged for her and she immediately laughed. It was too strange. Could it be that the expert even taught her this? After thinking for a while, Li Sun thought about the matter of the dock and asked Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, "Xiaobao, the dock over there will start construction tomorrow. Don't you want to go with me to take a look?" "No, it's too far. It's in the provincial capital. It will take at least half a month from here to there, right?" Zhang Xiaobao estimated the distance. His father went there to take the provincial capital examination. It took half a month to walk there. Chapter 298. Li Sun left under the protection of the guards, while Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan strolled back slowly. They didn't need to have someone protecting them all the time, at least not on the surface. In Zhuangzi, it was too difficult for ordinary people to hurt them, unless there was a legendary master who could fly and pick leaves. If that was the case, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan would accept it. When others came to Zhuangzi, they had to be searched first. Last time, when housekeeper Chen came, he was not allowed to bring anything dangerous. If he felt that it was unfair, he could not come, or he could go to the Yamen of Sanshui County to complain. "Xiaobao, why didn't you tell me your plan? You always hide things from me," Wang Wan said unhappily as she held Zhang Xiaobao's hand and walked home. Zhang Xiaobao thought for a while and said, "It's not that I want to hide it from you, but we know different things. My plan has always been very big, and it contains too much information. If I tell you, you will think about how to perfect it, and it will delay your plan. You also said that international swindlers are not ordinary, and it's true. The things they think about are very complicated. Every step they take needs to be adjusted and connected with the previous step. It's not easy, and it's tiring. When my father has an official position, he will probably be the county magistrate of Huayuan County. When that time comes, when you train the army, when it's the yamen or people in the government, I won't care. There are specialties in every field. I believe in you, and at the same time, I hope you will believe in me." This was the first time that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan had a serious conversation, and they dissected their ideas. Before, they cooperated with each other, but they also concealed their ideas. Wang Wan was also facing this kind of thing for the first time. She thought for a while and said, "This is the independence of personality, right? What you and I discussed were the small things in the big part. I really didn't expect that you would set up such a big scheme and push Sanshui County up. I've never thought of setting up such a big scheme. I've always rushed things out one after another. You know me. What I used to do was to link up some information and then operate it. People without abilities will always do things independently. I've been practicing for so many years. The first thing I think of when I encounter a problem is to join forces. When Li Sun confirmed that those people in the dock were swindlers, I thought of pushing Sanshui County up. Then I began to connect it with my father's imperial examination, and then other arrangements appeared. In fact, it's not strange at all, it's a matter of habit." Zhang Xiaobao told her what he thought, including some of his operation process. Wang Wan looked at Zhang Xiaobao again. After a while, she said, "Don't make it sound so easy. If I really listen to you and think it's simple, then I'm a fool. Well, I don't care how you operate. It's still what we agreed at the beginning. You can't just go and help ordinary people. Ordinary people refers to the people who come to help dig the river, not including Zhuangzi of the Chen family. When your father really has real power, I will train some people to help you. I believe that you will arrange it reasonably. What else do you need me to do?" "Yes. Compose some nursery rhymes and dance routines. That's your forte. I'll write some nursery rhymes and dance routines for young children. I've read some books on this subject and have experienced it myself. The thing I can't stand the most is to watch a sick child die in front of me." Zhang Xiaobao had always liked children very much. Unfortunately, he didn't have his own children, so he could only be a little better to other people's children. Wang Wan could also understand Zhang Xiaobao's character. Whether he was sick or not was not important. What was important was that this obsession allowed Zhang Xiaobao to achieve such a great career and benefit many children. It was just like how they made Li Sun have contradictions in his thoughts. The ability of human existence was contradictory. Seeing that Zhang Xiaobao said so, Wang Wan promised, "I will make that children's song. It's simple. First, I will write down what you said at that time, which is the words of West Wind. Then I will write something like, planting the sun. What do you think?" "Good, planting the sun is good. This children's song can make children with a kind heart to harm others." Zhang Xiaobao suddenly laughed. "How is it harming?" Wang Wan was puzzled. Zhang Xiaobao suppressed the idea of continuing to laugh and said, "This song has been circulating for more than 100 years. What are the lyrics?" "The general meaning is that if you plant the sun and hang it in the Antarctic and Arctic oceans, it will shine regardless of day or night. The result is that the ice and snow will melt and the sea level will rise." "Do you get what I'm saying? How many people in Japan will be drowned?" According to the current saying, Lingnan Province, Hunan Province, Huainan Province, and Jiangnan Province are all gone. It's okay if those places are gone, people can move to the mainland, but what about the surrounding islands? Where will they run to? When Zhang Xiaobao said so, Wang Wan couldn't help but laugh. Zhang Xiaobao didn't have a nationality. He only had the thoughts of a nation, but he also came back to deceive people. Wang Wan was different. She was educated like that. When she thought about planting the sun, she turned her eyes to the east and covered her mouth to laugh. After laughing for a while, she asked, "Xiaobao, Li Sun will come to find us tomorrow. Do you want to go to the shipyard over there?" "It's fine if you want to go, but it's also fine if you don't want to go." "If you want to go, we can go and take a look. It's just that we can let the people here do something. If we don't go, it's safer. With the two of us here, we don't have to worry about anything uncontrollable." Originally, Zhang Xiaobao was waiting for the children of the Zhuang family to grow up so that they could help out. There shouldn't be any problems with raising them since they were young. But now, he was a little too busy. He had to personally understand such trivial matters. Steward Zhang could be used, but Zhuangzi couldn't be without Steward Zhang. Otherwise, his mother would be tired. Song Jinggong could also be used, but Song Jinggong was in charge of the docks at Little Luoshui. He was already not simple. Then there was Niu. He was smart and could arrange things well. He was now in charge of contacting the Hunan circuit, which was Shandong. It was impossible for him to take time out to put his mind on other things. Shilu, Yingtao, and Xiao Hong were also good. Unfortunately, they were women. It was no longer the era of Wu Meinyong. Princess Taiping had died, so they could only do things at home. At this time, the two most useful people were Su Si and his assistant, Zhang Liang. Zhang Liang would be transferred to Beijing to be the supervisor. Su Si wouldn't be of much use now. Everything would be taken care of by Ergu. "It's Su Si. Let's go there and play. Let Su Si take care of more things and see if he can adapt." There are 3 things: the restaurants between the clouds and the water, the closure of the river behind the river, and the layout of the cloister in Zhuangzi. After doing it well, he can take charge of it alone. If he can't do it well, he will continue to follow orders obediently. Zhang Xiaobao mentioned Su Si to Wang Wan. He wanted to test him. Wang Wan wasn't worried that Su Si would mess up. She trusted Zhang Xiaobao. She believed that in the face of such economic matters, Zhang Xiaobao could handle it very easily. If Su Si did something wrong, how much could he compensate? If there really was someone who dared to cheat Su Si, then it would be even better. Zhang Xiaobao would have something to do. "Xiaobao, then do we need to prepare some information about the ships?" Wang Wan also wanted to go out and take a look. The furthest place they had been to was Little Luoshui. If the road was better, it would take less than an hour to reach that place by car. "No, I don't know how to build a ship at all. Unless you want me to cheat, don't even think about it. The ships here are different from ours. Find more old and new shipwrights. The old shipwrights are more experienced, and the new shipwrights are more courageous. We are not afraid of failure, but we are afraid of losing the courage to challenge. Zhang Xiaobao knew his place and advised Wang Wan. Well, as long as there is one person who can guide the intelligent people, they will be able to show their wisdom. I will listen to you. Wang Wan also didn't know how to build a ship. She originally wanted to draw some ship diagrams. The two of them talked all the way back to their own courtyard hand in hand. The moon shone on their slanted shadows. Except for the people in the inner courtyard, outsiders would never think that the owners of these two shadows were the people who completed Shangxian in Sanshui County. They each had their own strengths, 2 swords and 2 walls. Li Sun came over the next morning. He didn't eat. As long as he had a reason to come over, he wouldn't eat. The food in his house was not as good as the food in other people's house. The place that was similar to Beijing restaurant was the first restaurant in Lin Shui. The place that was better than the first restaurant in Lin Shui was between the clouds and the water. If he felt that between the clouds and the water was not good, then he would go to the courtyard of Zhang Xiaobao, the head of the Zhang family. This was Li Sun's idea. The food made in the restaurant was not the same as the food made in Zhang Xiaobao's courtyard. There was always a lack of freshness. Only Wang Wan knew that Zhang Xiaobao had hidden a kind of seasoning, chicken essence. The Real chicken essence was better than MSG, but it was a bit of a waste of chicken. A chicken essence could be made a little bit. The thing that was used to deceive people was like the method of growing vegetables in winter. Now, it didn't cost a lot of money. Another reason was that Zhang Xiaobao had requested for the chefs in the courtyard to make home-cooked dishes, such as steamed eggplant with sauce, small root cabbage box, and the soup of the mao plant. When it entered the mouth, it did not have the taste of the restaurant that everyone would think was acceptable. According to Zhang Xiaobao's words, the best taste of food was the taste of home. It didn't need to be too fresh or too fragrant. As long as it made people feel like they were at home, it was the best thing, even if it was shallots mixed with tofu. Li Sun was attracted by this taste. After eating a meal, he couldn't forget it. Even the methods of the imperial chef in the palace couldn't compare to the food in Zhang Xiaobao's courtyard. Therefore, as soon as Li Sun entered the place where Zhang Xiaobao was eating, he said, "Are you eating? What are you eating? Is it delicious?" Chapter 299. After chatting with Li Sun for a while, the three of them finished their meal and prepared to leave. There wasn't anything big at home. If there was something that couldn't be solved, he would ask housekeeper Zhang to look for minister Bai who had retired. Don't think that he didn't care about this kind of person who took the initiative to retire. Even the emperor wouldn't dare to ignore him. If he presented a memorial to the emperor, no one would stop him. Before leaving, Zhang Xiaobao found Su Si and said to him, "Su Si, I have seen some of the things you have done recently. My family has decided that you will no longer be in charge of the market and the grocery store. Ergu is enough." Ah! Su Si felt that his head was buzzing. When he heard this, the first thing that came to his mind was that the master felt that Ergu was better and didn't want him anymore. What From now on, you will have new things to do. The end of the river, the arrangement of the restaurant between the clouds and the water, and the design of the cloister between my family and the Wang families. You will be in charge of all of these. If something happens, don't blame the master for not giving you face. Zhang Xiaobao didn't wait for Su Si to start crying and gave him the job. Su Si had signed a death contract, so he didn't need to use his previous methods to suppress him. Su Si called out again, but his tone was a little different. He thought that the master didn't want him anymore. He didn't expect that he would be given a job with more power. What I want to tell you now is that when you do something, don't do it casually if you don't have confidence. If you don't understand something, ask someone who knows. Don't worry, no matter who you ask, as long as the job is done well, the credit will go to you. If I find out that you deliberately suppressed some people, you will find a better job. Zhang Xiaobao warned Su Si. There were many cases of supervisors bullying their subordinates and denying the suggestions of their subordinates. Those people would rather the company not develop well than to use the better methods of their subordinates. Zhang Xiaobao wouldn't allow such a thing to happen to his subordinates. Su Si nodded vigorously. He knew that this little ancestor had taken a liking to him, so he had to listen to her. If he made the main house unhappy, his monthly allowance might be deducted. If he made the little ancestor unhappy, no one would say anything if he lost his life. He hurriedly agreed. Only when the three of them were seated in the carriage did he let out a sigh of relief. He muttered, "If you don't understand, just ask. Tell the person who came up with the idea to the young master and young lady. I will also be rewarded. I can't go and suppress others. I will die." Xiao Bao, if someone comes up with a better idea, how do you plan to deal with Su Si? Li Sun sat beside Zhang Xiaobao and thought of what Zhang Xiaobao had just said. Arrange for him to go out and let him take care of things on his own. Zhang Xiaobao said without thinking. Li Sun didn't understand. Then what about the person who came up with a better idea? Keep him by your side and see if he can be like Su Si. If he can, arrange for him to go out. If he can't, just do what you were doing before, Zhang Xiaobao said again. Why? If he can come up with a better idea, won't he be better than Su Si? Li Sun asked. There are many good people. As long as you are willing to spend money, you can find them. What the Zhang family wants is not this. What we want is a kind of unity. For the Zhang family, talent is not the most important thing. Knowledge and experience can be cultivated, but character is not. Our family doesn't care about talent. What we want is character. Zhang Xiaobao almost said that he didn't care about talent. He really didn't care. It wasn't like he was making an atomic bomb. It was just a small business. At most, he would do it himself. It was better than finding someone with bad character to worry about it all day. If he had the energy to worry about it, he would rather do it himself. Li Sun couldn't figure out why Zhang Xiaobao would say that. He could only keep it in his heart for the time being. He could slowly think about it himself or ask someone else. The car wasn't slow. It was shaking. Fortunately, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's willpower was stronger than a scream. They didn't vomit. Li Sun's car was really worse than his. There were some bent pieces of bamboo between the carriage and the axle to act as a buffer. The car shook as it moved. When it was time to eat, they had to look around to see if there were any small wine shops. Li Sun was not like Zhang Xiaobao's father, who carried a bunch of things when he went out. In the past, he might have been able to do so. Now, he felt that he was the best person. Even if there were no wine shops around, he felt that he and Zhang Xiaobao would be able to reach their destination alive. After surviving in the wild, he was now full of confidence. However, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan didn't want to persist like this. The two of them didn't think that surviving in the wild was good. They had already suffered enough. At this time, they were sitting in a roadside shop and eating. There was only one dish, fried with beans and meat. There were a lot of beans and very little meat. When they looked at the plate, they saw that it was all lean meat. This wasn't because the people in the shop knew that the three of them didn't like to eat fatty meat. It was because there was very little fatty meat. Everyone else liked to eat it, so they didn't use it to cook. The food in this shop is good. Look, how is this shredded meat? It's obviously a steak. The medium rare kind. If you don't have the ability to cook, can't you first blanch the meat with water? It's eaten together with beans. Zhang Xiaobao picked up some meat. As soon as it entered his mouth, he spat it out. When he looked carefully, there were still traces of blood in the meat. If it was just fried meat, he would eat it. However, if it was fried together with beans, it would be easy to become laxative after eating it. It was just right for people with indigestion. Wang Wan only picked beans to eat. Fortunately, the beans were cooked. She asked someone to bring her a spoon. She ate with the steamed buns that she didn't know. Li Sun glanced at the meat that Zhang Xiaobao spat out. After thinking for a while, he said, "If I had known, I would have brought my own chef or used their ingredients and kitchen. I think that eating insects is better than eating this meat. Isn't it easy to eat this meat? Shopkeeper, bring me some garlic and some salt." Zhang Xiaobao naturally had a way to deal with it. He waited for the only shopkeeper, waiter, and owner to bring the garlic and salt. Zhang Xiaobao picked up a piece of meat, dipped it in the salt, and stuffed it into his mouth. He also asked for a mouthful of garlic. He ate it very happily. Li Sun also learned. He found that he couldn't eat the fishy taste of the meat, only the saltiness of the salt and the spiciness of the garlic. He said with admiration, "Zhang Xiaobao, I have seen it. You are really not ordinary. You can even eat this thing. Okay, I will remember it. I will eat it like this when I see it next time." Well, there is actually another way. Let them make soup with the vegetables. When we go back and boil it, the meat may be a little bit worse, but it will definitely be cooked. Zhang Xiaobao didn't want to find more trouble. If it wasn't cooked, then eat it. What else could he do? The three of them made do and finished eating. They decided that if they came across this kind of restaurant in the future, they would only order salted vegetables and pancakes. They wouldn't eat anything else. The carriage didn't travel slowly. It only took 6.5 days to reach their destination. If Li Sun wanted to, he could directly enter the manor. That was his home. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan didn't want to see a prince so early. It was difficult to talk to him, so they pretended to be ignorant children. In fact, the other party already knew that the two of them had learned a lot. But if they said too much, then it would cause trouble. If they didn't do well, then there would be many talented people fighting to teach the two of them. The three of them directly walked towards the dock. The river here was not something that the river in Zhuangzi of the Wang family and Zhuangzi of the Gu family could compare to. It was also not something that the small river in front of the Zhang family could compare to. The surging river water was vast and mighty. From time to time, the waves in the river would splash onto the shore. The location of the dock hadn't changed. It was still the location chosen by those people. Those people had good foresight. The ground here was flat, the water was deep enough, and it wasn't as turbulent as it was just now. The general framework of the dock had already been built. Half of it was on the shore, while the other half extended into the river, making it convenient for boats to enter the water. At this time, there were already people making small boats. This was easy to make. As long as the current wasn't too fast and there were some reefs, then it would be unimpeded. Moreover, there were fewer places to enter the water. When there was no sail, the boat's speed would be faster. Li Sun, Zhang Xiaobao, and Wang Wan looked around. As they looked, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan discovered a problem. To be precise, it was the technology. This boat was beautifully made. It was 2 zhang long, 6 feet wide, and about 6 feet tall. This was not the most important thing. The most important thing was that there was not a single nail in the entire place. All of the connections between the pieces of wood were made using the method of riveting. This method was not too unusual, and many of the furniture in the Zhang and Wang families' farmsteads were also made using this method. However, it did not seem to be very reliable when used in shipbuilding. Especially when building boats in the future, if they still use this technology, the advantage was that when the waves hit, the connected parts could borrow the force of each other and disperse the force. There was no need to talk about the disadvantages. If a part was damaged slightly, it was easy for other parts to be damaged as well. Zhang Xiaobao asked a person who was building a boat there, "Master, why don't you use nails here?" "Little guy, you don't know. Nails are easy to rust. When a boat is built, it won't be used for more than a few years. As long as it is hit by water, the place with nails will rot. It won't be used for long." The worker smiled at Zhang Xiaobao. Zhang Xiaobao really didn't know how to build a boat. He turned to Wang Wan and asked, "You really don't use nails on the boat? What about the iron boat?" "The anti-rust technology is different. A layer of paint is applied here. It has a function, but the paint will always fall off. For a boat that is soaked in water all day, the protection is not so good." Wang Wan felt that this should be the reason. Zhang Xiaobao estimated the time when the boat was in use. He found Li Sun and said to him, "When we build a big boat, we will add another layer of nails. It won't be long if the boat is in use. 3 or 4 years is enough. It can't be like building a small boat now." "Using nails? Xiaobao, Where do you want these big boats to go in the future? Li Sun was already used to it. He probably found these skilled people. Chapter 300. Li Sun didn't know where Zhang Xiaobao was referring to. He thought he was referring to Japan, where there were also people coming over, and even officials in the imperial court. He felt that Zhang Xiaobao's idea was really good, so he agreed, "Well, we'll do as you say. I think before you came here, your family has already told you." "Yes, that person at home has already told me." Zhang Xiaobao was willing to keep this misunderstanding. He and Wang Wan had already thought about it. They didn't know how long it would take to wait for others to come over, so it was better to go over themselves. As long as they could get some things back, such as tomatoes, potatoes, sweet potatoes, corn, and so on, then they could plant them. Of course, the most important thing was the chili. The chili sauce they were eating now didn't taste so good, so with chili, there would be more varieties. As for the potatoes, they also liked them. They could make some mashed potatoes, or roast some potato slices, or even directly steam them and mix them with eggplant, put some chopped green onions, and stir in the sauce. After eating a big bowl, they would be full and wouldn't need to eat anything else. These things could only be thought about in their hearts, and that day was still far away. The three of them walked around the dock, and only Zhang Xiaobao proposed to use nails. Li Sun and Wang Wan didn't find any problems, and they didn't know how to find problems. At noon, Li Sun asked Zhang Xiaobao, "Xiaobao, do you really not want to go to the mansion to have a look?" "No, your family has a lot of rules, and you can't eat peacefully. It's nothing more than the people sitting here asking you a question, and then praising me and Cuckoo. When they are happy, they will reward me and Cuckoo. If you want to go back, you can go back by yourself. Cuckoo and I will find a restaurant to eat." Zhang Xiaobao very straightforwardly pointed out the things that he could encounter, and no matter what, he wouldn't go. Wang Wan was also annoyed by this kind of thing, so she didn't say anything, which could be considered as tacitly agreeing with Zhang Xiaobao's words. Li Sun sighed. His mission today was to bring Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan back home. However, Zhang Xiaobao was right. Once they were back at the residence, there was nothing new. Seeing that the two of them were determined not to go, and it was not easy to force them, he thought about it and decided not to go home. It was better to follow the two of them. Under the protection of a group of guards, the three of them arrived at the restaurant that Zhang Xiaobao had someone buy. The three-story restaurant had already been painted, but it still could not hide the vicissitudes of life within. When they arrived, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan had already prepared themselves. They didn't expect to see a fiery scene, but when they arrived, they discovered that there would always be differences between imagination and reality. At this time, the first floor of the restaurant was already filled with people, and all the windows on the second floor had been pushed open from the inside. It was unknown whether those people were not afraid of the cold, or were deliberately doing so. On the third floor, there was only one room with its windows tightly shut, right in the middle. There were actually people waiting outside the restaurant. From time to time, they would ask the waiter if there was anyone who had finished eating and left so that they could go over. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan looked at each other, but couldn't figure out the reason. They walked to the door of the restaurant and saw that the signboard was not painted at all. The three words Wang Jun Restaurant faintly appeared on the signboard. It was unknown whether it was a name given by a woman who longed for the person in her heart, or by a person who yearned to see a real gentleman. It was not wrong to say that a man thought of a woman and gave this name. The waiter's eyes were sharp. He stood at the door and chatted with those who were anxiously waiting. Then, he smiled at those who had just arrived. Almost all the people who came were under his control. His ability was not small. Zhang Xiaobao also remembered this waiter. Don't underestimate this matter. Many times, it was precisely because of this kind of person that a business deal could be negotiated. Isn't this steward's son? You also came. Aya, now all the places are occupied. If you want to go to the third floor, wait a little longer. When the time comes, there will be people coming down. They will definitely serve you your favorite home-cooked tofu. At this time, the waiter saw another person come over. He trotted over and respectfully said. When Steward's son heard that there was no place, his face became ugly. However, when he heard the following words, he revealed a smile and said, I only came here once half a month ago and said that the home-cooked tofu was good. How did you know? Steward's son, you are testing this little one. This little one dares to forget others, but how can this little one not remember you? The last time you came here, this little one will never forget your elegant demeanor. The waiter was clever and immediately said there. This made Steward's son's face light up. He said to the people who came with him, Let's eat here. The food here is delicious. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan saw this scene and nodded. They had already approved of this waiter and were ready to put him in an important position. Half a month ago, he was able to recognize them immediately and remember what they liked to eat. It was a pity that such a person was a waiter. Li Sun saw that the place was full and did not pay much attention to the waiter. He frowned and asked someone to go over and ask. That person directly found the waiter who was still flattering others. My family's young master came from afar. Give him a place. The guard said to the waiter without any trace of politeness. The waiter immediately turned his smiling face and said to the guard, This big brother, you also saw that the place is full. If your family's young master wants to eat, then please wait here for a while. The guard did not buy it. He stared and said, Do you know who my family's young master is? I don't know. How would this little one know? If you remind me, this little one will be very grateful. The waiter's eyes swept around, wanting to find this person's young master so as not to offend him. Humph. Who is he? The young master of this prefecture's king's manor. Who do you think he is? The guard coldly snorted and said. The waiter slapped his thigh. Oh, so it's young Master Li. Look at this little one's memory. Someone had already reserved a place on the 3rd floor. Unfortunately, you can't see this side. It's on the other side. Hurry up. This little one is finished. I actually forgot about this important matter. Li Sun heard clearly and said to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, How is it? When you heard that this young master is coming, you got a room on the 3rd floor. Although you can't see this side, it's not easy. As he spoke, he stuck out his chest and raised his head. Zhang Xiaobao looked at Li Sun in confusion and asked, You don't know what's going on with this restaurant? Who said that I don't know? This year's village tribute, the top 10 people all stayed in this restaurant, including your father. Your father doesn't count, but the other 9 people are here. It's just in time for the release of the results. It's very lively. When people know about this place, they all say that it's a blessed place. Otherwise, why would so many people come here? Li Sun explained to Zhang Xiaobao. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan understood that all 10 people were here, and they were the top 10. No wonder the business was good. However, Li Sun did not seem to know who owned this restaurant. At this time, the waiter came over and said to Li Sun with a smile, Young Master Li, the place has been arranged. Would you like to go up now? Is there anyone who wants to finish eating here? Li Sun still wanted to see this place. It was spacious and bright. In reply to young master, there is no more. The 3rd floor is also empty. It was specially set aside. Fortunately, it was not given to others. Otherwise, if young Master Li had to wait here, my head would be gone. At this time, the waiter lowered his voice, but Li Sun and the other 2 could still hear. Xiaobao, come with me. This is the benefit of authority. Li Sun said to Zhang Xiaobao. Zhang Xiaobao smiled and took out a small rolled-up flag from his chest. He slowly unfolded it and showed it to the waiter. There were 2 cute seedlings on it. Chapter 301. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan had never been to the capital before. They only knew that it was very big. Only when they saw the road that could allow more than a dozen carriages to run side by side did they know how big it was. Zhang Xiaobao looked at the road in front of him and the trees planted on both sides of the road and muttered, It's really beautiful and grand. It really is the capital of a country. When we go back, we should also make a road like this between the two newly bought Zhuangzi. We don't need to farm anymore. Wang Wan didn't say anything. She kept looking at the capital city that had left behind many stories and legends. The streets were more lively than the docks of Sanshui County. There were people wearing all kinds of clothes. From time to time, they could see people who were obviously from a foreign country walking by. Li Sun didn't find this place strange. Seeing Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan standing there looking around, he said, "We're here. Do you two want to go to the palace with me or go to your family's restaurant?" Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan looked at each other and shook their heads at the same time. "We're not going to the palace. I don't know where my father is. I won't meet with him today. I'll wait until after the exam tomorrow." Zhang Xiaobao didn't want to disturb his father now. He asked the people around him to ask around. He and Wang Wan strolled slowly on the streets. Li Sun didn't force him. He left with the guards and found a place by himself. He didn't want to go to the palace. It didn't take long for the people here to find Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. "Little young master, little miss, master is now resting in Savant's restaurant. Do you two want to go to Savant's restaurant, or?" The person in charge respectfully stood in front of Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan and asked. "Then we'll go to Savant's restaurant. Don't let my father know that we're here." "Okay, let's go to Savant's restaurant." Zhang Xiaobao ordered and pulled Wang Wan and prepared to go there. The steward hurriedly found a car and invited the two of them in. From here to Pleasure House, there would be a long way to go. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan sat in the carriage. They lifted the curtains and looked out. At this time, there were residences on both sides. At first glance, they saw that the houses were lined up. There was a special ditch between the houses and the road. There were also elm and locust trees planted beside it. "Xiaobao, this place is indeed not bad." Perhaps because of this, the later generations have always remembered this dynasty and treated it as a spiritual symbol. It's a pity that when they accepted so many people, they didn't think of keeping some of the technology a secret and letting others learn it. Wang Wan thought of something and said to Zhang Xiaobao. Zhang Xiaobao nodded and then shook his head. Actually, maybe these people thought that in the future, their future generations would also have a bright future. To be able to maintain this prosperity is a kind of confidence, confidence in themselves, confidence in their future generations. Unfortunately, success is because of Xianzong, failure is because of Xianzong. He pushed the Kaiyuan dynasty to a new high in history and made Tianbao a precursor to the destruction of the Tang dynasty. The advantages and disadvantages of the imperial system are perfectly reflected in him. When it's time to delegate power, you have to delegate power. You can't treat the entire country as a game. Then shouldn't we do something? We can't just watch a powerful dynasty disappear, right? Wang Wan asked a little unwillingly. There's no hurry. We haven't reached the peak of Shangshi dynasty yet. We have time, so let's take it one step at a time. Tomorrow's exam will depend on my father. As long as he can do what needs to be done, the rest will be easy. He will be an official outside the capital and may stay in the capital and scheme against others all day long. It shouldn't be a problem. Your father has a solid foundation and came here to experience it in advance. Moreover, in these days, he has been writing poems from time to time. He has already practiced it. Wang Wan knew that Zhang Xiaobao was a little nervous, so she softly persuaded him. The two of them chatted as they walked along the road. They wanted to get a good feel of the atmosphere here. As they walked, they arrived at the West Market. At this time, they could see many shops standing on both sides of the road. There were even some foreign merchants hawking their wares. "Xiaobao, look at the things they are selling. There are a lot of different things. When your father is done with the exam tomorrow, let's walk around here and buy some small things back. We can't go out without bringing anything." Wang Wan looked at the people hawking and bargaining and said excitedly, We should buy some. We can also give prizes to children who study well. Look over there, they are selling flowers. Some have bloomed, and some are just bare branches. Especially that one, it doesn't look like it's going to bloom at all. That thing. Stop the car. Zhang Xiaobao also said, pointing to a place where flowers were sold in pots. As he spoke, he shouted. The carriage immediately stopped. Xiaobao, what flower did you see? Why are you in such a hurry? Wang Wan asked when Zhang Xiaobao pulled her out of the carriage. Good flower, cotton, I finally found it. I'm convinced. They actually put cotton in a pot. Our quilt is stuffed with cotton. How can it be compared to cotton? Zhang Xiaobao said happily. With cotton, things would be easier. In the future, there would be more things to do. The convenience of life came from cotton. Wang Wan was also happy. She had been thinking about looking for watermelon and cotton. She didn't expect to see them here. She said, they originally planted cotton as flowers. It seems that it was only in the Song Dynasty that it had other uses. This thing doesn't seem to be called cotton. What is it called? Just ask and you will know. Flower seller, how much are you selling these flowers? Zhang Xiaobao stood in front of the cotton that was about the same height as him and asked. Young master, are you asking about the white foldsy? If you only want to buy flowers, you can take 2 coins and I will also give you some mountain soil. If you want to buy it together with a pot, then it will be 12 coins. The flower seller turned his head and saw 2 children. He lowered his voice and said so as not to scare them. Zhang Xiaobao looked at Wang Wan. Wang Wan was also thinking and said, Flower seller, where did you find the white foldsy? We want to buy more. Can you still get it? Yes, no matter how much you want to buy, I will find it for you. The price is even cheaper. But, will your parents agree? The flower seller felt that a big deal was coming, but he was afraid that the 2 children were just talking and couldn't take out the money. Zhang Xiaobao calculated and said, we want to buy 10,000 plants. How much do you think it will be? While talking, he gave a look to the steward who got off another car and walked over. The steward immediately said, Flower seller, don't worry about the money. As long as the young master and the young lady want to buy it, we will naturally give you 1 coin less. With his words, the flower seller was relieved and showed a slightly embarrassed expression on his face. If you want to buy 10,000 plants, we will have to wait a few days. If I can't find so many today, I will have to go to other people to get them. It may be possible if several families work together. If you want to buy these, why don't you give me 17,000 coins? 15,000 coins. Okay, we will pay the deposit first. Zhang Xiaobao made a counteroffer. He could have lowered the price, but he felt that the flower seller didn't have it easy, so he gave a little more. The flower seller paused for a moment and immediately agreed. As for how to transport it, it was the steward's business. After finding the cotton and ordering 10,000 plants, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan happily got in the car again and went to Joy House. Xiaobao, the cotton is here. Where do we plant it? We can't plant it in the field. If someone reports it, we will be punished. With the cotton, Wang Wan began to worry about the planting again. Plant it in Grandpa Bai's field. He hasn't planted anything yet. It turned out to be a wasteland. No one will say anything. Zhang Xiaobao thought of the old man's field, which was just right. Okay, when we make the bedding, give it to him first. Wang Wan said generously. As expected, no one told Zhang Zhong that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan had come to the capital. The servants knew that if the master knew that the young master and young lady had come, he wouldn't be so calm. Maybe he would be absent-minded during the exam. At this time, Zhang Zhong was eating a simple and light meal. There was also a pot of warm wine. He was not going to see anyone today. A few days ago, he had seen the people he wanted to see and sent the invitations. He was just waiting to see how things would go after the exam. County Magistrate Chang sat opposite him and explained what to do during the exam. County Magistrate Chang had not taken the Jinshi exam, but he had taken other exams and knew some things about the Jinshi exam. Zhang Zhong listened carefully to County Magistrate Chang's words. The 2 of them ate for a full 4 hours. When the dishes were cold, they were taken away and replaced with new ones. The wine was also kept warm at all times. In the afternoon, Zhang Zhong read for a while and then went to bed early. He still had to wake up early tomorrow. The servants began to prepare the things for tomorrow. They prepared 3 sets of the 4 treasures of the study, some food and some things that might be useful. Early the next morning, countless high scholars were accompanied by their servants. Some of them were alone and some of them were outside the examination hall prepared by the Ministry of Rites. Zhang Zhong brought a few servants with him. When he saw so many people waiting in front of him, he took a deep breath and slowly exhaled. He calmed himself down and walked over. There were soldiers maintaining order over there. Many people were not sure and were whispering to each other. Some people even closed their eyes. After Zhang Zhong came to the capital, he had met many people. As he walked, he was greeted by many people. Those who were taking the Jinsha exam, those who were taking the Jinsha exam, those who were taking the Jinsha exam. They gathered together to guess what the exam would be. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan also secretly came over and watched from afar. The servants around them surrounded them so that they wouldn't get lost in the crowd. When it was time for the exam, a few officials came over and talked about the things that they should pay attention to during the exam. They also asked the soldiers to check the things that the high scholars brought. As for the body search, they did not appear. These people also began to enter one by one. Zhang Xiaobao clenched his fists and muttered, "Dad, don't be afraid. You can do it." "Xiaobao, why are you trembling? You said that others are not afraid. Look at you being so nervous." Wang Wan grabbed Zhang Xiaobao's arm and said, Chapter 302. The entrance exam was only 1 day long. As for the other subjects, it would depend on the results of the exam. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan waited for their father to enter the examination hall. They brought their servants along with them and prepared to wait here for a day. If they want to eat, they would need someone to send them food. Zhang Zhong entered the examination hall and looked at the things he brought. The weather was still cold, so he took out a blanket and put it under his butt. He also took out the smokeless charcoal and lit it in the brazier. Only then did he start to answer the questions. Everyone else also did the same. Only the poor scholars did not have so many things. The soldiers patrolled from time to time. There were people who dared to bring their notes. They were caught and thrown out. It would be difficult for them to make a name for themselves in the future. Zhang Zhong felt that he had learned enough and did not prepare any notes. Furthermore, he was unable to prepare any notes. This time, the examination was about poetry, prose, scripture, and Laozi's essay. First, he wrote the essay. Zhang Zhong's father finished writing the essay in the morning. When it was time for lunch, the smell of various dishes floated in the examination hall. The poor scholars only drank some water and ate some dry food. The rich people naturally served all kinds of delicacies. Zhang Zhong's father opened his lunchbox. There were not many dishes in it. There were only some small steamed buns and garlic sauce. It seemed that the servants prepared for him to eat this. There was also a tightly wrapped bamboo tube with soup on top. The steamed buns were still warm. Seeing that there were only these 2 things, Zhang Zhong did not complain. He picked up the steamed buns and ate them. This kind of steamed buns were not sold outside. Only his family often made them. The stuffing inside the steamed buns was frozen before it was wrapped. When it was time to eat, there would be juice inside. He quickly finished the steamed buns and drank the soup. He leaned back and began to rest. After he finished writing the poems and prose, he would wait for the results. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan also ate steamed buns outside. The rest of the servants also did the same. There were also people who came from other families. The entire area outside was almost full. Everyone looked at the entrance of the examination hall anxiously from time to time. When the sky gradually darkened, Zhang Zhong's figure finally appeared at the entrance of the examination hall. He carried the things he brought in. When he went out, he was stunned. "Dad! You're finally out. Quick, let's go back and celebrate." When the results are released, we'll go back and become officials with real power. Xiao Bao pulled Wang Wan and ran over from the other side. He immediately threw himself into his father's arms and said happily. Zhang Zhong touched his son's head and said, "Why are you here? Does your mother know? I missed you, so I came over. My mother should know by now. Originally, she only knew that we went to Zhouzhong. Father, don't talk about it anymore. Let's go back. We only had some buns for lunch. We'll eat something good when we get back." Zhang Xiaobao held his father's hand and walked back. A servant came over to take the things. Along the way, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan kept talking to Zhang Zhong about what they saw. Zhang Zhong was originally a little worried that he would not do well in the examination this time. After listening to his son and daughter-in-law's words, his mood gradually calmed down. He did not expect to meet the person he wanted to meet right after the examination in Beijing. The three of them talked as they walked. This time, they directly went to Savant's restaurant. A table full of dishes was placed on the table. Zhang Xiaobao poured wine for his father and began to change the topic. He did not mention the imperial examination anymore. Zhang Zhong was also happy to chat with his son and daughter-in-law. He talked about the scenery here and talked about what the foreign merchants were selling. After eating for more than 2 hours, the sky was completely dark. Only then did the three of them drink some tea and go back to sleep. The next few days were waiting for the results to be released. Zhang Xiaobao did not have much to do. He dragged Wang Wan to the east and west markets all day long and bought a lot of small things. Those cotton balls had already been sent back home and the bottom was covered with mud. When the time came, as long as one could survive, he would buy another one. After all, it was cheap. This wait lasted for more than 10 days. Seeing that a new round of official appointments was about to be released, it was finally time to release the results. Early in the morning, there were servants who went to watch. Zhang Xiaobao, Wang Wan, and Zhang Zhong also went to the nearest small restaurant. It was a place where ordinary people ate. It was also bought in the beginning. At this time, it was already full of people. Only a seat by the window was left for them. "Father, I have already thought about it. When you become the top scorer, we will not be an official in Beijing. Instead, we will be in Hua Yuan County. After you experience there for a few years, we will return to Beijing. Don't worry, you will definitely have achievements. Every year, during the selection, you will be in the upper middle class. You will not even be in the middle class." Zhang Xiaobao and the other two sat down. Zhang Xiaobao began to talk to his father. Zhang Zhong was still a little nervous. He did not know if he would become the top scorer. He did not expect to become the top scorer. As long as he could become the Jinsher, it would be fine. When he heard his son's words, he felt that his greatest ability in life was to have a good son. If it was someone else who said this, he would definitely think that person was stupid. But if it was his son who said it, it would definitely not be bad. He also lowered his voice and said, "Xiao Bao, the matter of being in the outside world is not that simple, right? I believe in your ability. As long as you are outside, you will be able to have a good political achievement. It's simple. The arrangements for officials below the 6th rank will be made by the Ministry of Personnel. This time, the person in charge of the imperial examination is only a small 6th rank official. In the future, it might be someone with a higher status. As long as you spend the money, you will be able to do it." Zhang Xiaobao was very confident in this. Now, it all depended on his father's results. Most of the other people in the store were also waiting for news from the other side. Zhang Xiaobao thought that there would be people riding horses to various places to report the good news. In the end, after waiting for a while, there was no one who came to report the good news. The three of them placed all of their attention on the ranking board and ate the dishes one mouthful at a time. When it was difficult to endure, someone finally ran over. As soon as he entered the store, he shouted loudly toward a scholar sitting there, "Young Master, Yuan, Young Master, Ming Jingyi, weight 15. Everyone in the store turned to look at that scholar. AB grade meant that there were some questions that he did not answer correctly. or he did not answer the examiner's questions properly. But after all, he had made it. His good days had come, and his family would also benefit from it. When that scholar heard that he had made it, he stopped eating. He threw some money on the table, turned around, and ran out, shouting as he ran. Zhang Xiaobao looked at this man who was in his 40s and shook his head. Was there a need to be like this for AB grade? Moreover, it was not for the advanced section. Just as that person ran out, another person came in. However, this person's complexion was not good. He walked to the side of a table and said to that person, "Brother, your name is not on the list. Let's go back." "Ah, not there. How could it not be?" The scholar was dumbfounded. He sat there and repeatedly muttered a few words. Perhaps it was because they had seen too much of this. Everyone turned their gaze elsewhere. Zhang Zhong's hand that was holding the chopsticks trembled. It was as if he was the one who did not make it. Zhang Xiaobao stood up and stepped on the stool to look outside. He did not see the person he sent out come back. After a while, just as Zhang Xiaobao was about to go and take a look himself, the person he sent out ran back in disheveled clothes. He cried and shouted at the same time, "I made it! Master made it! I'm first in Jinsha grade A! Master, I'm the top scorer!" Wow! Accompanied by a clamor, everyone's eyes were focused on Zhang Zhong. At this time, Zhang Zhong was already stunned. He sat there motionless. Zhang Xiaobao hugged Wang Wan and kissed her on the cheek. He whispered, "Money and connections finally worked." Wang Wan raised her hand and pushed Zhang Xiaobao's face away. She said happily, "Look, it's like this. I'll ask my father to come and take the exam. After 2 more days, we can go back. Hurry up, tell this good news to the family. Father, let's go back. You have a busy day tomorrow. How did you get your clothes? Why did you come back so late?" Zhang Xiaobao said to his father. He then turned to the person who reported the news and asked. Replying to little young master, just now, this one saw that the old master had been hit, so this one shouted. As a result, many people surrounded this one and asked this one about this one. This one managed to break free with great difficulty, so this one came back late. The person who reported the news did not look unhappy at all. It was as if being surrounded by people was also a happy thing. The few of them left the store under countless envious gazes. Zhang Xiaobao immediately asked someone to send the news back to his family as fast as possible. His family was still worried about it. On this day, the Savant's restaurant and the Joy House held a banquet. Anyone who could find people came to the 2 restaurants. From this day on, the 2 restaurants became more popular and their business became more prosperous. The next day, Zhang Zhong went out. He had to report the news and go to the apricot garden to eat and drink. If he had a good idea, he could meet the emperor. After that, he went to the big wild goose pagoda. After a busy day, he was tired enough. Of course, he also had to ride a horse and parade through the streets. Zhang Zhong rode a horse with flowers. He was dressed like a bridegroom. He rode the horse around Chang'an City. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan also squeezed into the crowd to watch. It was a pity that there was no camera. Otherwise, they would definitely take a picture of this scene. The servants who protected them behind them also puffed out their chests and raised their heads. This time, their identities were different. They were servants of the savant's family, not ordinary servants. After this matter was over, it was time to start the official selection. Zhang Xiaobao's mediation was effective again. Zhang Zhong, who was supposed to stay in the capital, was arranged to be the county magistrate of Huayuan County. He was also given a goldfish bag to press his lapel. "Let's set sail." Zhang Xiaobao stood at the bow of the ship and shouted. Looking at the water in front of him, he felt high-spirited. This time, they did not follow the way they came. Instead, they took another waterway. It was the one that the old man's nephew had taken. From that waterway, they could directly reach the capital. Chapter 303. The boat went against the current, following the original river that would stop after a certain distance. At this time, the river was no longer the same as before. There were boats going down the river. Some were carrying goods, and some were carrying people. All of them seemed to be very happy. "Father, this river flows through Huayuan County. It's a pity that it was taken by the nephew of the minister. Otherwise, our family would have a big income." Zhang Xiaobao introduced the river to his father, who smiled from time to time. Zhang Zhong knew the reason. It was because he was the top scorer this time. After a lot of trouble, he finally got the top scorer. His family spent a lot of money for this. "Xiaobao, you are tired. You have to take care of the things at home, but you also have to worry about the things outside. Sigh. You can even help me, your father, with his official career. It's all thanks to my son. If it was someone else, what would the Zhang family do?" Zhang Zhong looked at his son's chubby face and said with emotion. He had already stopped thinking about why his son was so powerful. That was not important. What was important was his son. Filial and sensible. Even if his son suddenly flew in the sky one day, it was still his son. Zhang Xiaobao did not care about tiredness. He really did not do anything. It was just a small matter. As long as he took some time to think about it, he could arrange it. With this waterway, the distance from the capital to Zhangjia Zhuangzi was reduced by 2/3. The value of this waterway was reflected in this. The boat was in the front, followed by several boats. All of the things on the boats were bought by Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. There were many things to eat, drink, and play. The capital was indeed the capital. It was much more prosperous than Sanshui County. There were also many kinds of goods. The two of them bought things for their family, for the villagers, and for the children. All of these things cost more than 500 strings of coins. Among them, there were many things that were not too expensive. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan could imagine how happy the people in Zhuangzi would be when they returned. If they had taken a detour like before, it would have taken them half a month to reach their destination. However, now that they were going against the current, it would take them about 6 to 7 days to reach their destination. After 5 days, they entered the territory of Huayuan County. While the boat was moving, many people suddenly appeared on the shore. The man on the left bank flung a rope to which a stone was fastened to the right bank. The man on the right bank caught the rope, and with a tug on both sides, the rope was stretched out in front of the boat. Zhang Xiaobao and the others were looking forward to going home one day later, but they didn't expect that someone would block the boat. Zhang Zhong hadn't taken office yet, so he couldn't use his identity as the county magistrate to pressure them. He originally had the 3 official titles of Cloud Cavalry Officer. Maybe someone forgot or something, but they didn't take it back. "Who is blocking the boat?" Hu, who was responsible for protecting Zhang Zhong on the boat, shouted to both sides. "Your boat is crossing our river. Naturally, you can't do it for free. You have to pay. A boat needs to be paid. If you pay, the boat will go over. If you don't, go back the same way you came." A man on the left bank shouted at Zhang Xiaobao. The people on both banks also shouted a few times to boost their morale. Zhang Xiaobao smacked his lips and said, "It seems that we still have to put in some effort. Huayuan County is not like Sanshui County. Unexpectedly, there are such unruly people. Should we use good words to educate them, or should we use violent means?" When Wang Wan heard Zhang Xiaobao's words, she carefully looked at the people on both banks and said, "I guess we have to use both. Looking at the clothes these people are wearing, they are not so poor. They actually found such a simple way to make money. They are very smart." She didn't say that they didn't work for it. After all, they threw a rope. A rope was actually nothing. If they wanted to go over, they could just go over. The key was that there was still a rope over there. If they wanted to go over, they had to break the rope. She was afraid that these people didn't throw ropes, but stones to the boat. That would be troublesome. Hu, who shouted, naturally wouldn't give money to others. How could a river become someone else's? He immediately shouted again, "The person on the boat is Cloud Cavalry Officer, who is about to take office as the county magistrate of Huayuan County. If you don't get out of the way, you will be charged with robbery. Whose words were effective. The people on the shore didn't know whether it was true or not. They could only say that they would rather believe it than not. They covered their faces with their hands, turned around, and ran away. The rope was also pulled by a person and disappeared in front of the boat. The boat continued to move forward, but Zhang Xiaobao didn't feel happy at all. If those people could think of a way to block the boat, they would definitely block other people's boats. If they didn't do something about it, who would be willing to take this road in the future? I have to talk to Grandpa Bai's nephew about this. He is in charge of the wharf. If every boat is blocked, then the wharf can't be prosperous. When my father takes office, he will start to deal with these people. I don't know what kind of resistance he will encounter. If there is someone like Zhongjia Zhuangzi here, it will be really difficult to deal with. Zhang Xiaobao planned to let Grandpa Bai's nephew test the water to see if it was deep. When the time came, he would think of a solution according to the specific situation. Wang Wan also thought of this situation. It depends on how the yamen runners in the yamen are. If they are like the yamen runners in Sanshui County, then your father can't expect to do anything. He will be deceived all day long. There are also the county's deputy secretary and the county's deputy secretary. Originally, the deputy secretary also had the opportunity to be the county magistrate. Do you think he will cooperate with your father? I'm not afraid. As the saying goes, money makes the world go round. Let's try peaceful means before resorting to force. When my father takes office, we will give those yamen runners some benefits and see what they do. If they are respectful to my father and obedient, then we will treat them better. If they take the benefits and still act contrary to my father, then we will let them see what we can do. Zhang Xiaobao had already decided that as long as his father took office, he would first gather the yamen runners. Otherwise, if he couldn't do anything, how could he build up Huayuan County? How could he make political achievements? He still had a lot of ideas that he didn't take out. He kept them for his father. Zhang Zhong was also thinking about the same thing. He didn't know what to do. When he heard the two children talking about the future, he felt that he was a little old, even if he was only in his 20s. After a short delay, the boat sped up again. Zhang Xiaobao stood at the bow and looked at the rushing water in front of him. He said to Zhang Zhong, "Father, the boat can't move at such a fast speed. When it comes to places with strong currents, it can't move anymore. We have to move bit by bit. Why don't you find some work for the people who don't have land to do after you take office?" "Xiaobao, what kind of work do you think we should find?" Zhang Zhong put his hand on Zhang Xiaobao's shoulder and asked softly. His son was too smart. He could think of a job that could increase the income of the people in the county in the blink of an eye. Trackers. Ask them to put in some effort and arrange for trackers to be sent to those places with strong currents. It's good to send trackers over there. It's just a few coins per tracker. Along the way, we have encountered 4 trackers. There are 2 trackers in the county now. When we move forward, we can send 10 trackers to each tracker. 2 trackers can send 20 trackers. If each family sends 1 tracker, then all 20 families will benefit. If we send 8 to 10 trackers a day, each tracker will earn 10 coins. 10 coins can buy a lot of things for the people. Needless to say, how much do you earn in a year? Zhang Xiaobao said to his father. However, Zhang Zhong was a little disappointed. "Xiaobao, there are only 20 or so families. Even if there's another tracker ahead, there will only be 30 families. It's still too little." "Father, it's not little. A small idea can solve 20 or so families. Think of a few more. Many a little makes a mickle. You can also ask those who don't have much labor at home to set up stalls by the river and sell some things. If the people on the boat want to eat and drink, or if they want to buy some trinkets for their families, they can solve some of the problems." Zhang Xiaobao knew that his father didn't have any experience in this area. Even if he learned a little from County Magistrate Cheng, it was just an armchair strategist. He didn't know how big of an effect it would be to solve the problems of a few dozen families with the poorest living conditions. He could only counsel his father slowly. When Zhang Zhong heard this idea, he felt that it was a good idea. He nodded. Xiao Bao, it's a pity that you are still too young. Otherwise, you should be the top scorer. If you were in the imperial court, the people in the imperial court would be blessed. Father, it's not easy to do things in the imperial court. You can't just do whatever you want. Obviously, your idea is good, but after some debate, you still can't do it. Father, if after you take office, the deputy magistrate and registrar in the yamen are not on the same side as you can fight with them yourself. If you can't win, we can think of other ways. In the future, when you become an official in the capital, you can't avoid these kinds of fights. Politics is a kind of art. Isn't that right, Cuckoo? Zhang Xiaobao now decided to let his father train more, just like how he trained Wang Wan's father. Wang Wan's father was much more mature than before. After suffering a few losses, he finally learned some things. Zhang Zhong understood that his son was leaving him some face. What he meant by, think of other ways if you can't win, meant that if the father can't win, the son will do it himself. Sigh. I wonder who's the father. The boat continued to move forward. Sure enough, they saw a place with turbulent water. This way, they could arrange for 3 places to pull the fiber cable. Each time, they only needed to pull the cable less than 1,000 steps. The boat was small, so it was not as tiring as the boats in the Yangtze River and the Yellow River. Those who were not willing to spend this much money could slowly row there. Seeing that they were about to reach home, those who were eager to return home continued to row even when the sky was dark. They had no intention of stopping. They wanted to reach home early. When the sun rose, they could already see the restaurant between the clouds and the water from afar. The people on the boat cheered. This time, they were returning with supreme glory. Those people had already seen Zhang Xiaobao's boat. The telescope was still very useful. When the boat got closer, the sound of firecrackers began to ring out. 4 Zhuangzi villagers gathered around, wanting to welcome the top scorer. Chapter 304. Zhang Zhong, who was on the boat, was also excited. He knew what his parents were thinking. They were waiting for him to pass the exam, but he suddenly became the top scorer. The top scorer could be born every year. In the future, the Zhang family would become a big family. He was already the top scorer, so Xiao Bao didn't have to worry at all. Or they could have a few more children in the future and let Xiao Bao teach them. Even if they couldn't compare to Xiao Bao, they wouldn't be too bad. There was also Cuckoo. When they grew up and had children, wouldn't they be even more powerful? 2 people teaching 1 child, and they could also teach 1 child. The Zhang family would no longer be the same as the Zhang family that had to sneak back when the imperial court was in chaos to get a wife. The villagers opened their eyes wide and controlled their breathing. They didn't dare to breathe too loudly, fearing that they would blow up the top scorer. The people of Zhangjia Zhuangzi were the most proud, especially the old men. They had watched Zhang Zhong grow up. They didn't expect that the naughty young master from back then would become the top scorer. The people of Zhuangzi and Zhuangzi were also happy. They didn't expect that the new master of the family would become a manor just by going around the capital. In the future, when they went out, they could say that they were the top scorers villagers. That feeling, wouldn't others die of envy? The Wang family and Zhuangzi villagers also had reason to be happy. Who didn't know the relationship between the Zhang family and the Wang family? The Zhang family was the Wang family, and the top scorer was everyone's. Under everyone's expectations, Zhang Zhong's boat sped up and stopped at the shore between the clouds and the water. Zhang Zhong didn't wait for the boat to come to a stop. He jumped onto the boat and knelt down in front of the old master without saying anything. Father, your unfilial son is back. Father, you don't have to worry about the Zhang family being unable to make a name for themselves. The old master narrowed his eyes and smiled, but he couldn't control his eyes. Tears flowed out and down his cheeks. The old lady also wiped her tears and went forward to help Zhang Zhong up. Zhong Get up quickly. Go back to the ancestral house and kowtow. The Zhang family has produced a capable person. All the ancestors are happy. Husband, I knew that you were very capable. Back then, when my family objected, I followed you here because I was waiting for this day. Before you came back, my family gave me hundreds of bolts of silk. Xiao Bao and Cuckoo also gave me longevity locks. They finally recognized you as their son-in-law. No one said that this concubine is a fool anymore. They all praised this concubine for her good eyesight. Husband, this concubine thanks husband. In a few days, this concubine will have the status of a noble lady. At this time, the Jiang Wang clan came over and spoke to Zhang Zhong with deep feelings. Her family had sent many gifts over in the past few days. At that time, the Wang family clearly knew that Zhang Zhong had gone over. After sending people to pick him up, they didn't care. They thought that even if he passed, he would only get a B grade. At that time, they would help to mediate and become an official. Then, wouldn't Zhang Zhong obediently go over? Who would have thought that Zhang Zhong would actually become the top scorer? This was not only because of his talent. Without some power, no matter how talented he was, he wouldn't be able to become the top scorer. Because of this, the Wang family was anxious. Seeing that Zhang Zhong had the ability, if they didn't go and express their goodwill, when the time came that he would ignore the Wang family, many people would laugh at the Wang family. It was just like the saying that one shouldn't bully a poor young man. In a short 5 years, Zhang Zhong was no longer the person who didn't dare to refute. He was no longer the person who had to secretly take a wife with him. It was only in the past 2 years that the Zhang clan had transformed from a manor that barely made a living into the current Zhang clan, which was rich and famous. Yes, with a scholar who was the top scorer in the Jinshu examination, the Zhang clan could be considered a clan. After hearing his wife's words, Zhang Zhong's eyes turned red. The sullenness in his heart completely disappeared at this moment. Who would dare to look down on him, Zhang Zhong? Then, would the servants of the Wang family dare to say to him, "You are not worthy of my wife, give up"? Letting out a long breath, Zhang Zhong said to the Jiang Wang clan, "Chao you have been wrong these past few years. I, Zhang Zhong, will definitely fight for a higher title for you in the future." After speaking to his wife, Zhang Zhong said to the old master and old master, "Father, mother, let's go back to worship the ancestors. At noon, I will have a good drink with the in-laws." Wang Wan's family was also watching from the side. They were also gratified by Zhang Zhong's success. Cuckoo would have a better life in the future. Knowing that they were going to worship the ancestors, they didn't say anything and just laughed at the side. Zhang Zhong's family returned to the main courtyard. After placing the incense, they began to kowtow and worship the ancestors. They talked about the unfilial descendants of the Zhang family and how they had done today. After a few words, it was considered that they had finished worshipping the ancestors. After that, they began to deliver things to the villagers. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan had brought back things to be delivered. They also took out the things in the main courtyard storeroom. Everyone was happy. Even the villagers of the Li family and the Gu family in Zhuangzi received a gift. Zhang Zhong went to find Wang Wan's father to drink. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan ran to between the clouds and the water to see the old man. The two of them had to persuade the old man to plant cotton. When the old man saw Zhang Zhong upstairs, he finally breathed a sigh of relief. If he really didn't enter the top 3, he didn't know how to explain it to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. He had already promised them. "Grandpa Bai, did you plant the white fold seeds that we asked people to bring back?" Zhang Xiaobao asked the old man when he saw him. "Yes, I did. I didn't plant them in the muddy ground. I found another place. The muddy ground can't be planted this year, so I have to turn it over." "Xiaobao, tell me, why are you raising so many flowers?" After the old man saw the flowers that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan bought, he didn't have a place to plant them, so he put them in his nephew's field. Some of them died, but there were still more than 6,000 flowers left. It was quite a lot. "Flowers?" "Oh, yes, flowers. Grandpa Bai, those flowers are different from other flowers. We usually stuff cotton wool in the bedding. When the flowers bloom and bear fruit, they can replace cotton wool in the bedding. They can also be woven into cloth to make clothes. It's much better than cotton wool. Zhang Xiaobao explained to the old man. Wang Wan also said, when the time comes, the price of silk will drop. More people will be able to wear silk, and more people won't have to worry about not having clothes. That cotton can be plucked. Oh, it's the white fold seeds. Put it in a pot and steam it. If there are wounds on the body, use that to bandage them with medicine to make the wounds heal faster. Oh, there's such a thing? I've never heard of it. I'll listen to the two of you this time. If it's really that useful, I'll submit a memorial to let the emperor know and plant it in some state capitals. The old man had never thought that the white fold seeds could be used to make clothes. In the past, he had always thought that it looked good when it bloomed. Grandpa Bai, don't worry. It will definitely be useful. It's just that it will take some time to remove the seeds. Xiao Bao and I will think about it and make something to press the seeds. When the time comes, it will be convenient. The first bedding we make will be given to Grandpa Bai. Zhang Xiaobao promised the old man. The old man only thought that this was taught by someone else. He thought about using the white fold seeds as a bedding in the future, but he didn't know how it would feel. When Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan saw that the old man had agreed, they bid farewell and went to find Li Sun. Li Sun also followed them back. He didn't want to stay in the capital. When he came back, he also brought some things. There were more than 100 watermelon seedlings with mud wrapped around the roots. This was his housekeeper's cold melon. It was an ornamental thing in the imperial gardens. Occasionally, people would eat it, but no one used the seeds to make melon seeds. Zhang Xiaobao had asked him what was in the gardens. Zhang Xiaobao didn't care about other things. When he heard Li Sun describe the watermelon, he became interested and asked Li Sun to get some to plant. This thing was easy to raise, and it was better to put it in the sand. When the time came, he would get some iced watermelon to eat. The seeds could also be used as snacks. The watermelon seeds tasted better than sunflower seeds. The layer inside the watermelon skin could also be used to cook. He could fry melon slices or eat cold. When the time came, he and Wang Wan would each hold half a watermelon and eat it with a spoon. The taste was really good. Li Sun planted these watermelon seedlings in his home. He specially chose a place with a lot of sand to plant. He didn't feel that this thing was good. It was just a little sweeter in the mouth, and he often had to spit out the seeds. It was strenuous. I planted it. It's all here. Take a look. I don't know why you are willing to eat this thing. Why don't you eat some peaches? When Li Sun saw Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan looking for him, he knew that it was about the watermelon. He took the two people to the place and pointed to the watermelon seedlings. Well, when the time comes, I will make something good for you to eat. You must have not eaten it before. Especially when it ripens in summer, you can use it to relieve the heat. You can't eat it directly. You have to throw it in the well town. When the time comes, I will make cold melon slices for you. It's not worse than cucumber. In the future, when you have time, you can go to the garden and have a look. If you find something strange, you will find it. Zhang Xiaobao began to promise Li Sun again. He also asked him to go more often in the future. If he found something that could be used as food but was treated as ornamental plants, wouldn't it be a crime? Then I'll wait for you to make some kind of melon slices. If it's not delicious, I won't take anything out for you in the future. Li Sun said with some doubts. He didn't think that this thing could be delicious. If it wasn't from Zhang Xiaobao's mouth, he wouldn't have any hope. Well, leave it to us. There is one more thing to discuss with you. Can you lend some of your guards? Not many, 20 are enough. Lend them to my father for a few months and then return them to you. My father is a new county magistrate there, and some things may not be so easy to do. Zhang Xiaobao finished talking about the watermelon and began to ask Li Sun to get more guards. Chapter 305. Zhang Xiaobao's original plan was to bring some local yamen runners over, but after thinking about it, he felt that it was impossible. There would definitely be conflicts between the yamen runners from both sides, which would make things difficult for his father. The local yamen runners would feel that the new county magistrate looked down on them, which would make things difficult for them. After all, the local yamen runners were the ones who knew the most about the local affairs. Those from outside would need some time to adapt to the local affairs. Li Sun's bodyguards would not have such concerns. Li Sun's bodyguards had a higher status, so the yamen runners would only think that the new county magistrate was capable. As for the specific situation, there was no need to think about it now. He would think about it when he encountered something. After some preparation, Zhang Zhong was about to take office. Originally, he wanted to bring his family with him. Zhang Xiaobao considered that the yamen there would be very shabby and could not compare to Sanshui County. He planned to take a look at the situation with Wang Wan and his father first. After laying the foundation, he would let his family move there. At that time, Wang Wan's family would also move there. He couldn't possibly let Wang Wan see her family all the time, right? There were also some farmers. If possible, he could also arrange for them to leave a person in charge here. Anyway, the two counties were close to each other. It wouldn't take more than a day for them to come over and take a look. On the third day after Zhang Zhong returned to Zhuangzi, they set off. They drove a few carriages with some daily necessities on them. Most of them were gifts for the yamen runners. The population of Huayuan County was not less than that of Sanshui County. In fact, it was even more than that of Sanshui County. However, there were only 67 bailiffs in the whole yamen. No wonder someone dared to stop a boat at the river. Try it in Sanshui County. As soon as you stopped a patrol boat, you would be scared to death. Zhang Xiaobao prepared a bag of noodles, a bag of rice, a barrel of vegetable oil, 2 chickens, and some cucumbers for each of the 67 yamen runners. Now, the cucumbers in the normal fields had not come out yet. He would first send these things to the yamen runners to see their reaction. If they knew how to be grateful and know how to know their place, then he would treat them well. Next time, he would send them fungus and tremella for their family to try. If they took the things and still scolded the new county magistrate behind his back for not doing his job properly and always dragging things out, Zhang Xiaobao would let them know what it meant to be stupid. Zhang Zhong sat in the carriage and put on his official robes. He had to go to the other side to get them. This was his first time being an official, and he was already a county magistrate. It wasn't a small position. He didn't count his previous position as an official. Other than being able to provide some food for his family, he didn't use it at all. The only thing it was useful for was to let the people from the inner court go out and say, "How's my manner?" Zhang Zhong was recalling some of the things that County Magistrate Cheng had told him. County Magistrate Cheng had taught him step by step without hiding anything. He had told him everything he knew, including some techniques for solving cases and so on. It was all based on his experience. For example, if you were to encounter some cases where you couldn't find the relevant information in the law, you could only rely on a certain one. If you didn't have a good relationship with them, who would teach you such a crucial thing? This was the ability to make a living. First, you have to accept the seal. Then, you will officially be in office. After that, you will have to solve cases in the Hall of Life. Who knows what kind of cases are waiting for you? Be careful. Brother Chang had said that sometimes when a new county magistrate is in office, there will be people who will deliberately make things difficult for him. For example, the Zhang family's melons are planted in the Li family's garden and can't be taken out after they grow up in the jar. Also, the Wang family's pigs are mixed up with the Song family's pigs and can't tell which one belongs to which one. All these can happen. Well, the former one should be soaked in salt water and the latter one should be starved. When the time comes, they will go home to eat. Zhang Zhong sat in the carriage and muttered. He was already prepared to face what was coming. He couldn't hide from it, so he could only grit his teeth and bear with it. In fact, for officials like him who were sent out for the first time, they would start from the position of registrar official. The registrar official had fewer things to do and he didn't need to take on too much responsibility. He would only continue to be promoted after he had figured out the ropes. But Zhang Xiaobao couldn't wait any longer. The registrar official's authority was not as high as the county magistrate's. He just needed to spend some money to get a position as a county magistrate. He was also a rank 7 official. Originally, he could be promoted to rank 6, but Zhang Xiaobao asked someone to suppress it. After all, Zhang Zhong had contributed a method to grow vegetables in winter and was also the top scorer in the imperial examinations. Giving him a rank 6 official was not high. But Zhang Xiaobao knew that there was no such thing as a rank 6 official. Except for the 2 county magistrates who were rank 6 officials, the rest were all rank 7 officials. Some county magistrates were even rank 8 officials. If they were rank 6 officials, they would not be able to go out and be a county magistrate. Rank 6 officials were usually civil servants who did some things in Beijing. Xiaobao, can you tell me your original plan now? Why did you promote Sanshui County to Shang County? Why did you tell me so many things about the child? Wang Wan and Zhang Xiaobao were also sitting in the same car. She was still thinking about that matter. Zhang Xiaobao pretended to smile reservedly. After his face was pinched by Wang Wan, he said, I promoted Sanshui County for 2 reasons. First, our family's business needs more people. Second, I did it to show Huayuan County. When the time comes, my father can write a notice saying that he wants Huayuan County to be Shang County like Sanshui County. This is good. It can divert some of the people's attention. It can also give the people some hope. In the future, when my father does things in this name, the people will be willing to support him. It is like an inauguration speech. At least, it can let the people know that he is a responsible official. Also, when they know that Sanshui County was promoted by Zhangjia Zhuangzi and that the new county magistrate is the head of the Zhang family, the people will naturally feel that this matter is reliable. If they can promote one county, they can promote another. At the same time, the deputy secretary, the deputy magistrate, and the bailiffs will also know the benefits of being a Shang County. It can reduce some of the pressure on my father. Of course, maybe some people are too ambitious and want the position of county magistrate. Then, they will have to rely on their own methods. Once my father makes Huayuan County a Shang County and becomes an official in the capital, how can he not be a vice minister? He can sit in the vice minister position for a few more years. He can also sit in the Ministry of Revenue, Ministry of Appointments, and Ministry of Works. When he is familiar with them, he can become a minister. He can also sit in 2 different positions. My father is still young. He can't be promoted too quickly. After all these are done, he can compete for the position of Prime Minister. Without Li Linfu, can An Lushan sit in that position? Even if he is lucky, with my father holding the power in the court, we don't have to be afraid of living in the abyss of suffering for the rest of our lives. Wang Wan nodded as she listened. When Zhang Xiaobao finished, she said, You are quite far-sighted. Do you think it will work? How do I know if it will work? I can't not think about it, right? When the time comes, I will deal with it as I see it. Anyway, this is how the county magistrate is now. Zhang Xiaobao was also not sure if his plan would succeed, but he had to work hard. I know. Xiaobao, you are indeed not ordinary. What about the children? Wang Wan asked again. Children? This is simple. It is to have my father specially train a few people like this to take care of the children. For example, setting up a nursery or something. Every family's children have to be taken care of by their own people. This will reduce the time to do other things. With a fixed place, a few people can take care of a group of children. This will allow those with children to worry less. At the same time, it will also free up the labor force. We will pay for this. It won't cost too much, but we will gain many benefits. As long as it succeeds, then in the court, my father's method will be valued. This is another contribution. It will give my father an additional layer of insurance when he enters the capital in the future as an assistant minister. The problem of children has always been a serious problem since ancient times, especially in an era where children are prone to die young. Whoever can make children live better lives will be respected. Children represent hope and the future. Zhang Xiaobao said this matter in one breath. Wang Wan listened and stared at Zhang Xiaobao's face. She nodded and said, Zhang Xiaobao, I have already admired you many times, but this time, I have to admire you again. You really have a long-term plan. Then, Comrade Zhang Xiaobao, tell me about the other rings. What other rings? Zhang Xiaobao was at a loss. Don't play dumb with me. Zhang Xiaobao's actions have always been linked. I don't believe that you will do things so simply. I want to know the other plans and arrangements. Wang Wan didn't buy Zhang Xiaobao's tricks at all. A person like Zhang Xiaobao couldn't be treated as a normal person. She had to be vigilant at all times. Even if it was a small matter, she had to think about what he was planning. Since you asked, then I will tell you a little bit. In fact, it was just an idea before, but now I have decided to stick to it. Zhang Xiaobao finally said again. Wang Wan looked at Zhang Xiaobao with an expression of, sure enough. Well, if we gather all the children together, we will specially make some uniform clothes for them to wear. I have seen the children here. The style of the clothes they wear is monotonous. They even run back and forth naked. We will dress the children up and make them cuter. He can sell clothes in the future. Every once in a while, when others learn to imitate, we will update it. At the same time, we will promote our brand. We will brand toys, clothes, and so on. The children will be used to our things from a young age. When they grow up, as long as they see the same brand of things, they will choose first. I just thought of it because of the cotton. When the cotton comes out, we can ask the old man to plant more. When the time comes, we can make clothes for the children first. Pure cotton clothes are comfortable to wear. Before others react, we can have the advantage of time and make a lot of money in advance. Zhang Xiaobao voiced out his thoughts. Just like what he had said before, he was always able to discover things around him and then connect a few things together. He had just discovered cotton ball, so he came up with this plan. Wang Wan shook her head. I hope that Huayuan County's department registrar and county deputy magistrate know what is good for them. Otherwise, they will not know what kind of people they are facing. Chapter 306. In the spring breeze, willow catkins stick to the carriage. Half a li away from Huayuan, how many people are coming from afar? Zhang Zhong's team finally arrived at a place half a li away from the county town of Huayuan after a bumpy journey. There was also an earthen wall made of mud and grass. In this season, there was also a spring rain, so there were weeds growing on the wall. Zhang Zhong pointed the monocular clairvoyance that Zhang Xiaobao asked for at the three people standing outside the city gate. Two of them were wearing the uniform of yamen runners, and the other one was standing with his hands behind his back. They must be the people who were here to pick him up. There were only 3 people. Compared to when Jia Shang arrived at Sanshui County, there were fewer people. Well, just a little. Zhang Zhong put down the clairvoyance and hesitated whether he should send someone to inform the 3 people or go directly to meet them. It was impossible for the 3 people not to see such a large team from half a li away. Why didn't they come over? Zhang Xiaobao didn't care about this kind of thing. Less than 300 meters away, he had already seen the 3 people. He lifted the curtain of the carriage and said to the people outside, "Continue to move forward." The team, which had already slowed down, returned to normal. This short journey only took a few dozen breaths. When the team arrived outside the city, the 3 people looked at each other, and under the lead of the person with his hands behind his back, came forward to welcome them. Is the person in the carriage the new county magistrate? His surname is Zhang Zhong, Lord Zhang. I'm the Huayuan County's Kangji officer. My surname is He. Due to the busy affairs in the county, I was sent by the deputy county magistrate and the chief minister to pick you up personally. Thank you for your hard work. The person with his hands behind his back came to the front of the carriage and said to the carriage with the most obvious sign. When Zhang Zhong heard this official position, he felt a little helpless. They actually sent a 7th-class Kangji officer to pick him up. Thinking of what County Magistrate Cheng said, Zhang Zhong still walked out of the carriage. So it's He Tsong's plan. It doesn't matter. My home is nearby. It's just a few steps away. Since the county is busy, we should go and hand over everything first. It's faster to have more people to do things. While speaking, Zhang Zhong didn't take the carriage anymore. He directly walked forward. The 20 borrowed guards immediately surrounded Zhang Zhong, frightening the 2 yamen runners who wanted to approach him. These 20 people were all wearing leather armor, with knives on their waists and leather bags on their backs. Without opening the bags, one could tell that they were crossbows just by looking at the outside. The 2 bailiffs were secretly shocked. That He Kangji was quite knowledgeable. He smiled and said to Zhang Zhong, "Darren, the bodyguard of the Wang mansion is really different. There are some things in the county that are not easy to deal with. With such a brave warrior, I think the county will be much more stable." Oh, could it be that there were bandits here? The yamen runners in the county are not easy to deal with? Zhang Zhong showed a surprised expression and deliberately exaggerated his question. He Kangji quickly waved his hand. "Darren, what are you talking about? The new policy of the dynasty is peaceful. How could there be bandits near the capital? It's because there are too few yamen runners. They can't travel fast enough. The deputy county magistrate and the secretary are discussing whether to hire more yamen runners to listen to Darren's orders." At this time, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan also got off the carriage and squeezed beside Zhang Zhong. When they heard He Kangji say that they were hiring yamen runners, they looked at each other and smiled. They thought of what happened when Jia Shan came here in plain clothes. The yamen runners used one move and spent the last bit of money. Could it be that Huayuan County also wanted to learn this? Zhang Zhong also thought of this point, but he didn't care. If he had money, he would spend it according to the way he had money. If he didn't have money, everyone had no money. He wasn't like Jia Shan who relied on the yamen's money. He had enough money at home. At this moment, Wei Wei nodded and didn't say anything about this matter. He Kangji also didn't mention it at the right time and talked about some trivial things in the county. Zhang Zhong listened as they walked and occasionally asked a few questions. He learned this from County Magistrate Cheng and never talked too much about things he wasn't familiar with. Wang Wan and Zhang Xiaobao followed with their little legs and looked at the situation in the county. The spring plowing in Sanshui County had already ended, but there were still a few people working here. Although it was not as prosperous as Sanshui County, there were still many people. There were shops and stalls on both sides of the street, and the sound of hawking could be heard from time to time. When the people in the county bought things, they bartered. Unlike in Sanshui County, they could carry a few coins with them. There was also a difference in their complexion. They were not as rosy as the people in Sanshui County. This was not only a matter of food, but more of a matter of mentality. It's not bad. It's easy to get results in this kind of place. We just need to improve a little. Wang Wan pulled Zhang Xiaobao and moved her lips. Zhang Xiaobao also felt the same. What we need to solve now is the problem of team unity. It's more convenient to do things when the government is unified. It depends on what the original people want. They sent a mediocre official and 2 absent-minded yamen runners to welcome us. How can such yamen runners want to do things? Maybe there are people who are willing to do things. Wang Wan looked at the bright side. Who cares? Only a fierce dragon will cross the river. Since we're here, we don't plan to start everything smoothly. We'll go to the yamen later. We'll live behind it and repair the house. As Zhang Xiaobao was talking, he saw a 7 or 8-year-old child holding a chicken. He stuck a straw stick on the chicken and left the crowd. He jumped over and asked, "How much is the chicken?" The child looked at Zhang Xiaobao first. When he saw Zhang Xiaobao's clothes, his eyes lit up and said, 70 coins. I won't sell it for less. 70 coins is a bit expensive, but this chicken seems to be able to lay eggs. Why are you selling a chicken that lays eggs? Isn't it better to keep it to lay eggs and sell them? Zhang Xiaobao was not like other rich young masters who didn't know how much things cost. In Sanshui County, he could give an accurate price according to the quality of things. A chicken like this in Sanshui County was usually 58 to 62 coins, depending on the size. Wang Wan also came over and asked, "Yes, keep it to lay eggs. Is it because this chicken doesn't lay eggs? It shouldn't be. Is it because it lays soft eggs? Don't worry, go to the river and get some river snails for it to eat. The eggs will be hard. My mother is sick. I'll sell the chicken to buy medicine for my mother. 70 coins can buy 3 sets. I'll buy some meat for my mother with the rest of the money." The child gently touched the chicken's neck with his hand. The chicken cooed twice at its owner. Zhang Xiaobao stared at the child's eyes for a while and nodded. He told Erniu, who had been following him for a long time, "Give him 200 coins and cut a piece of meat from the cart." When Erniu heard the order, he turned around and went to get it. Zhang Xiaobao said to the child, "Take the chicken back. I will give you money to get the medicine. Hold on for a few months. After a few months, life will get better." After saying that, Zhang Xiaobao pulled Wang Wan and turned to walk back. The child suddenly asked, "Why are you so good to me?" "No reason, I'm willing," Zhang Xiaobao said without turning his head. This scene was seen by Zhang Zhong and He Kangji. Zhang Zhong didn't do anything and let his son do whatever he wanted. He Kangji, however, asked Zhang Xiaobao, "Little young master, even if you can help him, so what? There are too many things like this in the county. Why don't we make Huayuan County like Sanshui County? The lives of the people will naturally be better. I don't understand these things. I just know that they are the people of Huayuan County. Great love helps one side. Small love helps one person. If I don't have the thought of small love, how can I say great love? I'm still young and don't have the ability to love, so I'll do small love." Zhang Xiaobao raised his head and said to He Kangji. He Kangji was shocked when he heard that. He looked at Zhang Zhong. He felt that this must be what the new county magistrate taught the child. Otherwise, how could such a child know so many things? Lord Zhang really loves the people as his own children. He actually teaches the child such words of love. I admire him. He Kangji cupped his hands and said to Zhang Zhong, "Well said, well said." Zhang Zhong laughed. He didn't teach his son such things. At this time, Erniu had already handed the money and the meat to the child. The meat weighed 5 kilograms, so it was very difficult for the child to carry it. With the addition of the money, the child had no choice but to hang the money on his shoulder and cover it with his clothes. He held the meat with both hands and let the chicken follow him. He didn't leave directly. He wanted to know who was so good to him. He squeezed forward and happened to see an official of the yamen bowing to another person. He mustered up his courage and asked the guard beside him, "Who is the child who gave me the thing?" "The young master of the new county magistrate's family. Go back quickly to get the medicine for your mother. You will have a good life in the future." The guard didn't take any precautions against the child and said casually, "Oh, I know." The child carefully looked at Zhang Xiaobao and Zhang Zhong, turned around and left. He said to the chicken, "Hua hua, let's go home. I won't sell it to you." The hen cooed and followed behind, pecking at the ground from time to time. Lord Zhang, the deputy county magistrate and the registrar shouldn't have returned to the yamen yet. "Do you want to go to the restaurant to eat first, or?" He Kangji asked Zhang Zhong. His tone seemed to be more respectful. "There's no hurry to eat. Let's wait at the yamen and see where we will live in the future." Zhang Zhong had brought a few carriages this time. He had to distribute the meat on the carriages as soon as possible. Otherwise, it would spoil after a long time. He didn't prepare much meat. Each yamen runner could get about 20 kilograms. The rest was to be frozen and used to cook at home in the next few days. He Kangji didn't say much about this matter. He led the way and arrived at the yamen. Sure enough, it was as dilapidated as he had imagined. The beating drum was gone, and the side of the drum was cracked open. The door of the yamen was half closed and half open. Not only was the paint peeling off, the wood was almost rotting. One of the copper rings on the door was broken, and the other one was missing. People didn't want to enter this yamen. Hikangji blushed and said, "Sir, the yamen doesn't have much money. We also need to help the people in the county. Therefore, we don't have enough money to repair the yamen." "Okay." Zhang Zhong grunted and looked back at his son. Zhang Xiaobao didn't seem to feel anything. He still seemed to be curious. Chapter 307. Hikangji coughed softly and said, "Sir, this way please." Only then did Zhang Zhong turn around and follow him in. When he got closer, he realized why the door was half closed. The door had actually fallen off and was propped up by a stick. If it was opened, it would be too obvious and wouldn't look good. The group of people walked inside, passing through the lobby in the front, and the courtyard used for doing things at the back. Walking further back, it was the place where Zhang Zhong and his family would live in the future. After turning a small corner, the future home appeared in front of them. Zhang Zhong was dumbfounded. The courtyard was overgrown with weeds. The roof of the dilapidated main house was full of holes. The paper on the windows had long been gone. Only the window frames were left, which were either open or closed. With a clang, a stray cat came out of a hole in the window and meowed at them. It twisted its body and ran away in the blink of an eye. From this courtyard to other courtyards, there were also houses that were too dilapidated for people to live in. It had to be said that this place was bigger than the courtyard behind the yamen in Sanshui County. Unfortunately, most of the courtyards did not even have a house. There was only a pile of mud piled up there after the snow had melted. There were beams, doors, and windows. It seemed that someone had taken it back to use it or used it to make a fire. Zhang Zhong smacked his lips and asked Hikangji, The previous county magistrate actually worked in such a dilapidated place. He was really a role model for us. My lord, county magistrate one didn't live here in the past. He had a house outside, but it's gone now. It said that he sold it to someone else and his family moved away. Why don't you buy a house outside? Hikangji lowered his voice and said to Zhang Zhong, "No, this place is fine. My family will find an inn to stay in for the next few days. When it is repaired, we will move back. If we don't live in the yamen, it will be easy for us to get into big trouble." When Zhang Zhong came, he was already mentally prepared that the yamen would be a little dilapidated. After discussing with his son, he could repair it and not live outside. However, he did not expect it to be so dilapidated. Well, his son liked a big place and his family was not short of money. He could leave it to his son. "Sir, there doesn't seem to be enough money in the yamen's account to repair the courtyard. If you want to buy it outside, you can find a few local merchants to raise the money." Hikangji had to remind him. Zhang Zhong smiled. "You don't have to look for others. I still have some money at home. I live in my own house and pay for my own repairs. Hitsongji, do you know how much money I have in my account?" "I'm not too sure either. It's true that I'm in charge of the warehouse, but there's not a single grain left in the warehouse. There's not even a single copper coin left. I heard that there's still around 30 strings of coins in the account, which is around 100 silvers. Hikangji told Zhang Zhong the truth. He wanted to tell him that he was in a deficit now. There was money in the account, but there was no money in the warehouse. He had to find a way to make up for it himself. At this moment, Zhang Zhong looked at his son. Zhang Xiaobao and Wei Wei shook their heads. They meant that they couldn't use their own money to make up for the deficit in the warehouse. Building a house was one thing, but the yamen's affairs were another. They didn't lack money, but they couldn't do that. Zhang Zhong understood. He said to Hikangji, "There's no hurry now. Let's wait for this year's rent and tax to be collected. By then, we can repair the yamen too." "Sir, there's no tax this year. We collected this year's tax in advance last year. County Magistrate Wen's case has been jointly reported by the Registrar General and the Deputy Magistrate. Perhaps County Magistrate Wan has been convicted of several crimes. I don't know if he can keep his life. He Kangji brought up another matter. Before Zhang Zhong could react, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan had already understood. When they were greedy, everyone was greedy together. Now, all the blame was pushed to County Magistrate Wen. The Registrar General and the Deputy Magistrate Wan had no responsibility. Naturally, they wouldn't return the money that they had embezzled. Good calculation. I like this kind of person. Zhang Xiaobao's lips moved. Wang Wan glanced at Zhang Xiaobao. You should think about how to get money. The spring plowing has just ended. The tax that was supposed to be collected in autumn this year will be gone. You can't possibly collect it again, right? I don't know how the people are doing. They have to pay rent for 2 years a year. Can they still survive? It's a small matter. Take it slow. It's not like the higher-ups don't know what happened here. They just want to see what my father will do. We can only stay outside today. Let my father contact the Deputy Magistrate and the Registrar General first. Zhang Xiaobao didn't care about this at all. He had lost a little money and collected a year's worth of rent in advance. It wasn't much. In the past, the officials he met could lose a few years' worth of rent and nothing happened to them. Zhang Zhong had seen the house and was only waiting for the Deputy Magistrate and the Registrar General to come back. He would officially take over after the handover. Before that, he still had something to do. He said to Hikangji, since the yamen is still in deficit, I think the bailiffs are not doing well. I have brought some things. Why don't we get the bailiffs and some people from the yamen here? We can take the things back and deal with them for a few days. What are they again? Xiaobao, remember what you said before you came. Recite it for me. Zhang Zhong really didn't know what his son had brought. He could only let his son recite it himself. Father, are you testing me? I remember. A bag of white flour, a bag of rice, a barrel of vegetable oil, 20 kilograms of meat, 2 chickens, and some cucumbers. The bag of rice and noodles are 5 buckets each. When everyone is here, you can give them to them. Zhang Xiaobao had to support his father at this time and counted the things at the side. He Kangji and the 2 bailiffs were delighted when they heard it, especially the 2 bailiffs. Usually, they couldn't be greedy and could only bully the common people. The common people didn't have much money at home. It was good enough to get a few eggs. If they were more ruthless, they would catch and kill the chickens and eat them together. They didn't expect the new county magistrate to give them so many things. The rice was good, the noodles were good, and there was vegetable oil. What the family lacked the most was oil. If there was oil, they could eat some wild vegetables. If there was no oil, they would waste food. With the addition of meat, chickens, and cucumbers, they could make a lot of good dishes. Sir, is what you said true? Please wait, I will go and find people. I will find all 67 bailiffs and the rest of the people in the yamen. In total, there are 13 people. When one of the 2 bailiffs heard Zhang Xiaobao's last sentence, he immediately ran out. Zhang Zhong looked at him and didn't say anything. The other 13 people were naturally people like He Kangji. The deputy county magistrate and the registrar didn't care about these things. It didn't matter whether they came or not. No one knew where they went. Otherwise, how could they not bring the bailiffs with them when they went out to do things? If they did, the bailiffs wouldn't say that they didn't bring all of them. Zhang Xiaobao originally thought that the 2 bailiffs could meet his father face to face and sound each other out. Then they would consider whether to confront or compromise. He didn't expect that they would directly use such an unpresentable method to make their intentions clear. In the future, they could only be enemies. After waiting for the other bailiffs to come back, they began to unload the things from the cart. Half of the 20 guards were divided into 2 groups to help, and the other half continued to be on guard. Some people from the Zhang family also did the work. Even He Kangji and the rest of the bailiffs didn't stand aside and just watched. Zhang Zhong, on the other hand, just stood there and watched as the bags of rice and noodles were moved down and put down properly. He also watched as the barrels of vegetable oil were poured out, but he couldn't find a topic to talk about. Zhang Xiaobao had to help at this time. He said to Hikangji, "When my father came, he said that this is only a part of it. There will be more in the future." In Sanshui County, even the Zhang family can give the bailiffs some things they need, let alone our own people. You have to do a good job. If you don't do a good job, we won't give you anything in the future. Zhang Xiaobao deliberately said the last words that could easily offend people. Only in this way could people think that he was a child who didn't know how to behave. The bailiff who helped to move the things nodded and promised, "I, Cheetah Fei, will definitely do a good job in the future. There are so many things to eat for 2 months. I will sell the cucumbers later. Haha." Hikangji was also not angry. He stopped what he was doing and stood there thinking for a while. Finally, he lowered his head and came to Zhang Zhong, saying, "Sir, to be honest, I didn't go to pick you up today because of anyone's order. I didn't do a good job here at all. I heard that you are capable, so I took the risk to go there." The two of them also did the same. They are usually ostracized. If they can, they will try their best. When Zhang Zhong heard this, he didn't know whether to believe it or not. The main thing was that his son had used a trick. He guessed that he had arranged for people to be drawn to his side by Jia Shan. What if they were also the same? So he said, "It doesn't matter. It's not easy for everyone. It will be better if we work together more in the future. If we want to get some benefits, we have to let the people in the county live a good life anyway." This is the case in Sanshui County. Write a few notices tomorrow and let the people in our county know what I, the new county magistrate, am thinking. "Sir, what are you thinking about?" The bailiff threw the chicken down and asked curiously. "I am thinking that since the Zhang family can promote Sanshui County to Shang County, Huayuan County can also be promoted to Shang County. Sanshui County has a wharf. Isn't there a wharf in Huayuan County about to be built?" Zhang Zhong repeated his son's words and appeared to be very confident. Hikangji and the bailiff didn't expect Zhang Zhong to have such a plan. Their eyes lit up at the same time. Zhang Zhong took this topic and continued, "As long as you do your job well, it won't take long for Huayuan County to change. At that time, the salary that should be increased will be increased and the people who should be promoted will also be promoted. Originally, I could be a 6th grade official in the capital, but I feel that I should do some things in Huayuan County. When the things are almost done, I will come to the capital. The benefits here will be left to the next one." You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.